We'll be looking at the 2024 Blu-ray release of Sound Euphonium Season 1. This was released on December 17th, 2024, and features 13 episodes and 1 OVA, all on 2 Blu-rays. The OVA is the length of a regular episode, so you could consider this to be a 14-episode set. The total runtime is 300 minutes, with 23 minutes of bonus features. These Blu-rays are for regions A and B, and there are 2 audio options, English stereo and Japanese stereo. There are English subtitles available. The English dub is brand new, but keep in mind that only the episodes and OVA are dubbed. None of the special features are dubbed, but they do have subtitles. This is a Crunchyroll release, but more importantly, I would like to thank some of the people who worked on the localization of this show. Without them, we wouldn't have this Blu-ray set. The English translation was by Rei Miyazaka. The translation editor was Laura Wierick. The translation checker was Michelle Timon. The voice director was Haley Verez. The producer was Abigail Salcedo. The adaptation was by Alex Addy. The mixer was Paul Zonley. And the dubbing studio was VSI Los Angeles. There must have been other people who worked on this release, but these were the credits listed on the Blu-ray. Regardless of whether they were credited or not, I would like to thank them for their work. Now let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see, it's a standard-sized Blu-ray case with an outer cardboard sleeve. The front is very straightforward, just the title and art of the main cast. The spine also has the title, along with specifying that this is Season 1. The Crunchyroll logo is at the bottom. The back has a window for the UPC barcode, and a brief synopsis below that. Further down we have a listing of bonus features, which are textless opening and ending songs, promo videos, episode 14 OVA, mini anime episodes. It's a bit confusing that they list the OVA as an extra, but to clarify, the OVA does have an English dub, while the other bonus features do not. At the bottom we have some screenshots and some technical information, most of which I covered at the beginning of the video. After removing the outer sleeve, we see that the front of the case has different art along with the title. The spine is the same as the sleeve, and the back is also very much the same as the back of the sleeve. Now I'll show you the paper insert outside of the case. On the reverse side we have more art, which will be visible behind the discs inside the case. Taking a look inside, it's just a typical 2-disc Blu-ray case, with just the discs inside. Each disc lists its contents. Disc 1 has episodes 1 through 7. Disc 2 has episodes 8 through 13, the OVA, also known as episode 14, and bonus features. Now would be a good time to mention that this is not the first time Sound Euphonium Season 1 has been released on Blu-ray in North America, but the difference between the new and old releases is pretty big. This show was released on Blu-ray by Pony Canyon USA back in 2016. But they didn't release the whole season in one package. They released it in 3 volumes. You can see in the upper left corner next to the title, this doesn't mean Season 3, it means Season 1, Volume 3. These old releases were expensive on release and have only gotten more expensive as they are now out of print. The first 2 volumes are so rare that I have yet to find them for a reasonable price, so I only own Volume 3. So why is this release so big even though it only has 1/3 of the season? Let's take a look. This release is in an oversized case, inside a clear plastic box. The box is open on one side so we can slide the case out. The front has the title in the upper left along with the aforementioned 3. Underneath that, it specifies that this is the collector's edition even though there was no standard edition back when this was released. The spine reveals that this is a DVD Blu-ray combo pack, meaning that the old release is the only way to own this show on DVD in North America. Further down we see the title, another 3, and collector's edition. At the bottom we can see the Pony Canyon logo. The back of this release is actually a loose sheet of paper, which stays in place inside the plastic box when it's sitting on the shelf. It shows a brief synopsis, screenshots, and an episode listing. For reference, Volume 1 has episodes 1 through 5, Volume 2 has episodes 6 through 10, and this volume here has episodes 11 through 14, which is the OVA. Further down, we have bonus materials, listings for staff and cast, and some technical information. Most importantly, we can see that this has Japanese audio and no English dub. The English dub is new, so it didn't exist when this set was released. It does have English subtitles, but that's not all. There's also a Spanish subtitle track, which is not included in the new release. The back of the sheet is blank, and the back of the case features more art. Opening up the case, we can immediately see plenty of extras. First, there are 3 art cards, each with a different character. The back of each art card is blank. Next, there's a booklet, and it's made to look like the program for a concert performance. It lists the fictional school and credits some of the characters from the show, making this a fun artifact from the show. We'll flip through this booklet and find character profiles, even for some of the minor background characters. Next, we have character designs, outfit designs, backgrounds, and episode summaries. On the last page, there's another listing of staff and cast. Finally, we have the discs, the DVD and the Blu-ray. The insert has some nice art on the inside as well. The other 2 volumes have similar physical extras included, so this is a good representation of all 3 volumes. Next, we can compare some footage from the 2 releases. I'll show you the new release, the old release Blu-ray, and the old release DVD. The subtitles on the new release are white with a black outline, using the standard Crunchyroll Blu-ray subtitle font. The old release Blu-ray also has white subs with a black outline, but with a drop shadow. These are actually fairly similar to Aniplex subs, even though this is a Pony Canyon release. The old set DVD subs are white with a black outline, but very pixelated, as DVD subs tend to be. As far as I could tell, both releases use the same translation for their subtitles. If you've watched the series on Crunchyroll's streaming service, it's the same one used there. Both releases allow you to watch without subtitles at all, and I'll mention once again that the old release has a Spanish subtitle track, while the new release does not. The subtitles and the English dub use different translations, which is normal. If you turn on English subs while listening to the English dub, just be prepared for a disconnect between what you hear and what you read. Both the opening and ending songs are not subtitled, not on the new set, not on the old one, and not on Crunchyroll's streaming service. I believe this means that they have never received official subtitles and likely never will. The menus on the new release are simple and straightforward, using a whole note icon to mark the current selection. By contrast, the old release has plenty of personality and plays the opening theme on the menu. Both are perfectly usable. I had no trouble navigating either one. I mentioned the extras included on the new release, but I want to mention that it's missing 2 things that the old release had. First, the old release had episode previews. Unfortunately, they were not subtitled, but at least they were there. Second, and more importantly, the new release has episodes 1 through 6 of the anime shorts. However, there are 7 shorts total. It's inexplicably missing episode 7. I can't think of a reason for this one to be excluded, so I can only assume that this was a major blunder. My friend also bought this Blu-ray, and his is also missing the short, so it's not just my copy. Volume 3 of the old release has episodes 5 through 7 of the anime shorts, so it is inadvertently the only English release of that short. I suppose it's possible that Crunchyroll can fix this mistake in future pressings of this release, but I'm not holding my breath. If you own this Blu-ray, please comment and let me know if your copy has short number 7. On both releases, for all their extras, there is no option to pick the particular short, preview, or promo video you want to watch. You just select a playlist and skip through the list until you get to the one you want. This isn't horrible, but it's a bit inconvenient. It's worth noting that Crunchyroll has 9 subtitle tracks for this show on their streaming service. I understand that there may be some circumstances of which I'm unaware that contributed to the lack of inclusion in this physical release, but it's pretty disappointing. I know that many anime distributors typically don't include subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, but that doesn't make it okay. Maybe there's a reason why this isn't the standard in the anime home media industry, but even so, it's a shame. In the end, this release has me torn. It gave us a new dub, which is very important for a lot of people, and it made an unobtainable show obtainable again. However, the missing short is just baffling, and the lack of the Spanish subtitle track from the old release is saddening. Unfortunately, this is not the definitive release that I wanted it to be, but at the very least, it's available. But with all of that said, you can determine for yourselves if this release meets your criteria for purchase. As of the making of this video, the lowest price I could find for this release was on both Amazon and Crunchyroll for $52.49. This is not an endorsement of either store. There are many factors to consider when making a purchase. I just want you to be aware of the lowest price point. And as a side note, you don't need it right this minute. I'm sure it will go on sale later. We'll be going over the January 2025 release of Ninja Scroll on Blu-ray. Before we begin, I do want to warn everyone that Ninja Scroll is a film for mature audiences. It contains extreme violence, gore, nudity, and sexual content, some of which is non-consensual. I encourage you to know yourself and to know what content is appropriate for you to consume. I will not be talking about any of this content, but I understand if you don't want to watch this video any further. This Blu-ray is for Region A and contains one movie which is 94 minutes long. It has English 5.1 surround and Japanese stereo audio and English subtitles. It also has an audio commentary with director Yoshiaki Kawajiri and character designer and animation director Yutaka Minowa. This is a Sentai Filmworks production, with the dub being produced by Manga Entertainment. But more importantly, I want to list some of the individuals responsible for this release. Without their hard work, we would not have this Blu-ray. The English dub producer was Yutaka Masaba. The English dub director was Quint Lancaster. The English ADR script was written by Raymond Garcia. The executive producer was John Ledford. The head translator was Ian Fagan. The subtitles were by Neil Barnes. The disc authoring was by Rin Anthony. Production and subtitling manager was Son Fan Lei. The studio manager was Joy Galbaud. The QC manager was Crystal Ruiz. The production coordinator and translation manager was Janice Williams. The graphic design manager, packaging, and menu design was by Larry Kotiff. There were likely many others who were involved in this release, but whether they were credited or not, I would like to thank them for their work. Now let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case, and it does not come with an outer cardboard sleeve. The front features some key art, the title, and the Sentai logo in the bottom right corner. The spine features the title, and at the bottom are the Toho and Sentai logos, Toho being the Japanese production company. My copy has some warping on the spine, where you can see that the shrink wrap stuck to the case. If this bothers you, you may need to invest in a replacement case. This is a very common occurrence, so personally it doesn't bother me, but I understand if you don't like it. The back has a synopsis, more art, and technical information at the bottom, most of which I covered at the beginning of this video. I'll show you the insert outside of the case, and the back of the insert is blank. Opening up the case, we are met with one disc and nothing else. As you can see, this is a very simple release, with no extra bells and whistles. This is a standard Sentai Filmworks release, but is not necessarily a bad thing. Keeping it simple allows them to sell their products for lower prices. The menu for this disc is very simple, but easy to navigate. The main theme plays on the menu, and you can select to play the movie, languages, scenes, and disc credits. The subtitles are standard Sentai Filmworks subtitles, yellow with a black outline. I noticed no subtitle errors throughout my watch of the movie, both the regular subtitled version and the subtitled commentary. Speaking of the commentary, while this is the only special feature present, it is more than enough to satisfy me. If you want to hear two masters of animation talk about animation techniques, this is for you. The director, Yoshiaki Kawajiri, also directed Wicked City, Demon Sei Shinjuku, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, Goku Midnight Eye, Cyber City Oedo, and Birdie the Mighty, and much more. The character designer and animation director Yutaka Minowa also worked on Record of Lodoss War, Vampire D Bloodlust, Devil May Cry the Animated Series, and much more. The commentary track was truly wonderful, with very little dead air and lots of fantastic information. The one downside is that you can only listen to the commentary with the Japanese movie audio. You cannot listen to the commentary alongside the English dub. Later, when editing this video and gathering B-roll, I discovered that this Blu-ray has a bit of a quirk. You actually can have the commentary with the English dub, but I don't think you're supposed to be able to do this. Let me show you. Here we have the movie playing in Japanese with English subs. Now, let's say I decide to listen to the commentary partway through the film.
My man saw a strange group of men running away from Himouto village last night. I thought it might have something to do with the epidemic, so I came to you, Chamberlain.
What are you telling me?
Somehow, this action changes the audio to English while displaying the commentary subtitles without the commentary audio. Obviously, switching from Japanese audio to the commentary track shouldn't do this. However, even though it's a mistake, more options is always a good thing, I guess. I wouldn't want to experience the commentary this way, but maybe you do. In addition, when listening to the commentary, there are no subs for the movie dialogue. Because of this, I recommend the commentary only for people who have watched the film recently or have seen it countless times. Speaking of subtitles, this release does not feature subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, which is disappointing, since Sentai has actually been very good about including that on their other recent releases. Overall, this is a very simple release, but it's competent, and the commentary track is simply fantastic. This is a great value purchase, and I highly recommend it for anyone who is interested. As of the making of this video, the lowest price I found for Ninja Scroll was $15.39 on Amazon. However, I encourage you to keep your eye on the Sentai Filmworks store. Right now, it's $16.99, but Sentai tends to apply deep discounts to their items as time goes on. I imagine that within a year, this will be under $10 during a Sentai sale, assuming that it remains in print. Now would be a good time to mention the history of this film on Blu-ray. This film has been released on Blu-ray 4 times, all by Sentai Filmworks. The first time was in December of 2012, and then it was released again in May 2015. It recently received a Steelbook release in December 2024, and this January 2025 release marks the 4th time. While the Steelbook is unique, I believe the other releases are very similar. The biggest difference I could see is that the first 2 releases include previews for other Sentai products, while this release does not. All releases feature the commentary track. Unfortunately, I own none of these prior releases, so I can't offer any further comparisons. I can't predict the future, but I think it's apparent that Sentai values the license of this film and will continue to release it. However, it's uncertain when that next release will be. The wait between the second and third releases was nearly 10 years. I don't think it will go out of print tomorrow, but it will one day, and it could be a long wait for the next release. We're going over the new Sailor Moon 3-film collection on Blu-ray. This is a single disc Region A Blu-ray. It contains 3 films and 2 specials for a listed runtime of 240 minutes. This isn't accurate, it's closer to 210 minutes, so 30 minutes shorter than the listed time. Each movie is almost exactly an hour, and the 2 specials are about 15 minutes each. The 3 films include our Sailor Moon R the movie, Sailor Moon S the movie, and Sailor Moon Supers the movie. The 2 specials are Make Up Sailor Guardians and Ami's First Love. There are no special features other than the 2 specials. The audio is in English and Japanese, with English subtitles, English sign and song subtitles, and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. This is a Viz Media production, as they have held the license for Sailor Moon for over 10 years now. This is where I would typically list the credits for the localization team. However, I couldn't find any credits anywhere on this Blu-ray for the English localization team. I couldn't even find the English cast, which is very strange. Of course, you can look up this information online, but it really should be on the Blu-ray. Regardless, I'd like to thank everyone involved. Without them, we wouldn't have this release. Now let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case with an outer cardboard sleeve. The front features art from the first film, Sailor Moon R the movie. At the bottom, it gives the full title of this release, Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon 3-Film Collection 1993 through 1995. Yes, in case you weren't aware, the full title of this franchise is Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon. The title is embossed, a nice touch that gives it a premium feel. The spine states the title again, with the Toei and Viz logos at the bottom. Toei Animation is the Japanese production studio behind Sailor Moon. The back features the title again, and the 3 movies with their posters. At the bottom it lists technical information, most of which I mentioned at the beginning of this video. For some reason, they claim that this Blu-ray is in a 4:3 aspect ratio. This is false. These movies are in 16:9 widescreen as they were originally released in theaters. The picture will fit modern television screens with no dead space. But that's not the only problem here. Despite having subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, it isn't stated anywhere on the packaging at all. And as I said earlier, the listed runtime of 240 minutes is wrong. The information listed here is an absolute mess. Now we'll take off the outer cardboard sleeve, and the front of the case features art from the second film, Sailor Moon S the movie. The spine is basically the same as the sleeve spine, and the back is also the same as the sleeve back. I'll show you the insert outside of the case. The back of the insert features art from all three films, as well as Japanese credits and copyright information. Inside the case, we see the disc without anything else. There are no physical extras. Now would be a good time to mention that this is not the first time these films have been released on Blu-ray. They were previously released separately as Blu-ray DVD combo packs from 2017 to 2019. Here are my copies. Unfortunately, my copy of S is missing the outer cardboard sleeve. But as you can see, they are also fairly standard releases as far as the packaging goes. Inside there is only the DVD and the Blu-ray, no physical extras here either. There are two very obvious differences between the new and old releases. One, they're now all on one disc, and two, the new release is Blu-ray only. If you want these films on DVD, you'll have to buy the old releases. First, let's compare the video quality between the releases. I'm no expert, but I couldn't really see any difference between the old and new Blu-rays. But I'll show you a clip from each so you can judge for yourselves. The subtitles on the new release had no typos or timing issues, and they seem to be exactly the same as the subtitles on the old Blu-ray. Visually, they're not great, but not horrible. They're white with a very thin black outline, which is fine most of the time, but sometimes they can get a little lost in a busy scene. The DVD subs are typical for DVD, white with a black outline, but pixelated. For subtitle options, the new release has English dub with no subtitles, the English dub with subtitles for songs and signs, the English dub with subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, and the Japanese dub with English subtitles. The old releases have similar language options, but the R movie lacks subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. They also have the option to listen to the English dub with the subtitle track meant for the Japanese dub. Using this isn't ideal, as the English sub and dub don't use exactly the same translation. In a strange twist, the DVDs from the old releases have the best language options, as you can mix and match English or Japanese audio with any of the subtitle track options. Although the ARD movie DVD still doesn't have subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. If you want that option, you will need to get the new release. The English dub is the same on both the old and new release, this being the Viz dub from 2017. If you watched these movies before 2017, it was a different dub. If you want that dub, you will have to buy an even older release from the year 2000, available on VHS or DVD. The menu for the new release is very simple, but straightforward and easy to use. The menus on the old Blu-rays are very intricate and flashy, but it may be a little bit too busy at times. The old DVD menus are even more simple than the new release. They use a star icon to mark your current selection. This is fine, except the menu has a very similar star in the background next to the extras option. This is a really odd design choice that will only confuse people, and it's present on all three DVDs. You may be wondering if all the contents from the three old Blu-rays made it into the single new Blu-ray. The answer is no. While I appreciate that Viz didn't seem to sacrifice the video quality of the films themselves, they had to make cuts somewhere. The special features took a big hit for the new release. As mentioned previously, the new release has two specials, Make Up Sailor Guardians and Ami's First Love. These are the two most important special features, so I'm glad that they weren't sacrificed. However, the old release had a plethora of other extras that didn't make it onto the new Blu-ray. These include a theatrical intro with the English cast, the 2017 Los Angeles premiere of the Sailor Moon R movie in American theaters, art galleries, interviews with English cast members, English theatrical credits, Sailor Moon trailers, and trailers for other Viz products. A more detailed list is on screen. If you love special features, you really should pick up the old releases. I wish the new release came with a special features disc to make it a definitive edition. But as it is, I won't be getting rid of my old Blu-rays anytime soon. However, while it may have its flaws, this release is now the cheapest way to obtain all 3 films, and the old sets will likely go out of print as time passes. So if you want this Blu-ray, the cheapest price I found it for was $21.99 at Walmart and Amazon. I'm not endorsing either of these retailers, but I do want you to be aware of the current lowest price point. Today we'll be taking a look at the 2025 release of Cutie Honey on Blu-ray. This is a Region A SD Blu-ray with 25 episodes and a runtime of 620 minutes. It features Japanese audio with English subtitles and a clean opening and ending. For those of you who may not be aware, an SD Blu-ray features standard definition video on Blu-ray, so this will play on any Region A Blu-ray player, but the video quality is still standard definition. You may wonder why anyone would put standard definition video on Blu-ray. There are some advantages, including slightly better video quality than a DVD, sharper subtitles, and the ability to put more content on fewer discs. In fact, this release includes 25 episodes all on one disc, and there's probably still free space left over. And while this is standard definition video, in my opinion, it looks great. Being an older show from 1973, there are film artifacts and scratches, but this looks great for its age. The subtitles are sharp, much better than DVD subs. The normal subs for dialogue are yellow with a black outline, while on-screen text is white with a black outline. And finally, song lyrics are a light blue with a black outline. The menu is very simple, but easy to navigate. It plays the opening theme on loop, and has a heart icon to designate the current selection. This is a discotheque release, but more importantly, I would like to thank the people involved in the production of this Blu-ray. Without them, we wouldn't have this release. This was produced by Media OCD. The producers were Justin Savakis and Salvatore Marone. The associate producers were David Miranda and Caleb McPhee. The Blu-ray authoring and compression was done by David Miranda and Justin Savakis. The subtitle translation was done by Ayumi Shinozaki, Yuichiro Karakama, Salvatore Marone, and Toei Animation. The subtitle manager was Logan Rables. The subtitle timing was done by Salvatore Marone. The QC manager was Mark Levy. The menu design was done by Robin Savakis. And the packaging design was done by Doug Smith. All of these credits and more can be found in the English credits roll placed after the last episode on the Blu-ray. Now let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case with an hour cardboard sleeve. The front features the logo and some screenshots. At the top, we can see a banner indicating that this is a set of 25 episodes on SD-BD. The spine features the title and the Eastern Star and Discotheque logos. Eastern Star is a label owned by Discotheque. You can also see that the sleeve has cutouts at the top and bottom of the spine. Some people love this style, some people hate it, but personally, I don't care. Back features that same banner at the top and a synopsis along with more screenshots. The bottom features technical information, most of which I talked about earlier. Removing the cardboard sleeve, we can see an alternate cover. The spine is largely the same as the sleeve spine, but with a pink background instead of white. The back is identical to the sleeve back. I'll show you the insert outside of the case. And the back of the insert features the same cover as the outer sleeve. So if you prefer that cover, you can reverse the insert to display it. Taking a look inside the case, we will find just the single disc. There are no physical extras included here. This release is very light on extras in general, but knowing Discotheque, they would have included more extras if it was an option. To sum it up, this is a great looking release of a classic show with a fantastic subtitle track. However, those of you who love extras will be left wanting for something more. If this release sounds appealing to you, the lowest price currently offered for this release is $37.46 on both Crunchyroll and AnimeGo. This isn't an endorsement of either storefront, but I want you to be aware of the current lowest price point. Today we'll be taking a look at the Akira 4K UHD and Blu-ray Steelbook. Thankfully, 4K Ultra High Definition discs are region-free, meaning that this disc will play on any 4K UHD player. However, Blu-rays do have region locking, and the Blu-ray disc in this release is for regions A and B. Both discs feature one film, which is 124 minutes long. Both discs also offer audio in Japanese 5.1 surround, English stereo, and English 5.1 surround. The two English options are actually two completely different dubs. The stereo dub is from 1988, and the 5.1 surround dub is from 2001. As for subtitles, there is one English track. Other than video quality, the immediate difference between the 4K and Blu-ray discs is the special features. The 4K disc has no special features whatsoever, while the Blu-ray has plenty. I'll cover all of these soon, but briefly they are Akira sound clip, a director interview, a storyboard collection, the writing on the wall, original trailers, original commercials, Restoring Akira featurette, glossary, 2013 US trailer, and Funimation trailers. Now, before I get any further into the review, I need to make a disclaimer. I don't have the appropriate equipment to capture and render 4K video. I can still capture footage from the 4K disc, but this will be downscaled to 1080p. Because of this, all the footage I've shown so far is from the Blu-ray, not the 4K UHD. I will show footage from the 4K disc to highlight some differences, but keep in mind that will be in 1080p. This is where I would usually thank the people behind the production of this release, but I couldn't find any localization credits on the discs or on the packaging. I didn't even see an English cast list, which is strange. Of course, you can look up this information online, but it really should be on the product itself. Speaking of credits, you will notice that each disc credits a different distribution company when you play them. The 4K UHD credits Crunchyroll, while the Blu-ray credits Funimation. This is because the Blu-ray is just a new printing of the 25th anniversary Blu-ray from 2013, which was produced by Funimation before they were absorbed by Crunchyroll. In addition to the Funimation logo at the beginning, this disc also has an ad for Funimation's streaming service and Funimation trailers. It's essentially a time capsule of Funimation products from that era. Now let's take a look at the packaging. This is a steelbook, and as with most steelbooks, the information is printed on a paper leaflet, not on the steelbook case itself. The leaflet is cardstock and wraps around the top and bottom to hug the front, but not fully overlap it. This was wrapped in plastic wrap when I received it, but now that the plastic wrap is gone, I have no idea what to do with this leaflet. It won't fit inside the case, so I'll have to think of a creative solution. The front of the leaflet basically exists to advertise that this is a 4K UHD and Blu-ray combo pack. The backside has some nice art and some technical information, most of which I covered earlier. The inside of the leaflet is blank. Now onto the steelbook. The front and back both feature some very nice art and the title. The spine states the title again, and the Crunchyroll logo is at the bottom. Below that are the UHD and Blu-ray logos. Personally, I think this steelbook looks fantastic. Opening it up, we will find two discs. There are no physical extras included here. Now would be a good time to mention that this is actually the third time Akira has been released in 4K in North America. The first time was in the 2020 Special Limited Edition, then there was a Standard Edition in 2022, and now this steelbook in 2025. I own the 2022 Standard Edition, so let's compare the packaging. This is a standard 4K UHD case, and the front is identical to the back of the steelbook. The spine is identical to the steelbook spine, and the back is identical to the leaflet included with the steelbook. I'll show you the insert outside of the case, and the back of the insert is just pure red. Inside the case, we'll find the two discs identical to the ones in the steelbook. The first 4K UHD release, the 2020 Special Limited Edition, had a defective disc, which lacked high dynamic range or HDR. Replacement discs were eventually provided, and this has been fixed for the 2022 Standard Edition and the Steelbook Edition. However, that doesn't mean that this release has perfect video quality, at least in the eyes of many fans. The 4K version of this film makes heavy use of digital noise reduction, or DNR. The intention of DNR is to remove film artifacts, dirt, scratches, and any other noise that shouldn't be in the picture. However, heavy use of DNR can result in the loss of film grain and even detail that is supposed to be present. I'll show clips from both the 4K and Blu-ray so you can determine which version you prefer. As for subtitles, the 4K UHD has thin white subs with a black outline, while the Blu-ray has thicker white subs with a black outline. Both are perfectly legible, and I noticed no typos or timing errors during my watch. The menu on the 4K disc is pretty bare bones. Not much to say about this. The Blu-ray menu is simple, but has personality. Both are easily navigable, so at least they get the job done. Now for the plethora of extras included on the Blu-ray disc. First is the Akira sound clip, which is a sort of mini documentary about the score of the film. This is broken up into several segments, featuring live-action clips with background information, followed by clips of the film featuring certain pieces of music. Unfortunately, this is an extra from the 90s, and these clips from the movie are in 4:3 standard definition. And while it would have been nice to hear the isolated score in these clips, that isn't the case. Watching the Akira sound clip is essentially watching clips from the movie in low resolution with brief segments of background information. While the information was interesting, I felt that there wasn't enough of it to recommend watching this 20-minute featurette. The director interview with Katsuhiro Otomo was nice, clocking in at about a half hour. Again, this is an old extra, so it's in 4:3 standard definition. However, the director's thoughts and anecdotes are a very welcome special feature. The storyboard collection is a fantastic addition. It's wonderful to have this piece of the creative process on the disc itself. The writing on the wall is a collection of translations of on-screen text from the film. I do wonder why these translations weren't simply included in the film itself, but maybe they thought there were too many and it would have been distracting. All of the trailers and commercials are pretty standard extras, but they're an important part of the film's history. The glossary is nice, but I felt that it wasn't really needed. If you're confused about anything after the film, this might be of some use. The Restoring Akira featurette was actually my favorite of the special features. This details the sound mixing, dubbing, and restoration of the film through interviews with the cast and crew. It's only 11 minutes, so I do wish that they had interviewed more people. In summary, I have mixed feelings about this release. The 4K is watchable, and it's nice to see the film in such high resolution. However, the digital noise reduction really does hurt the quality of the film, at least in my opinion. The Blu-ray is absolutely fantastic, and it's also the disc with all the great special features. The Steelbook is really cool, but not worth upgrading for. I think that if you already own this film on Blu-ray, there's no need to buy the 4K version. If you want to purchase this 4K Steelbook, the lowest current price is $26.24 on Amazon, Crunchyroll, and Walmart. This is not an endorsement of any of these storefronts, but I do want you to be aware of the lowest price point. Today we'll be looking at the Blu-ray release of Nasu, Summer in Andalusia. This is a region-free Blu-ray, meaning that it's compatible with any Blu-ray player regardless of where you are in the world. It features one 47-minute film. The audio is only in Japanese, but you can choose between stereo or 5.1 surround. It has English subtitles and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. You can also choose to view the film without any subtitles at all. Special features include a teaser, theatrical trailer, US Blu-ray trailer, TV promos, interview with director Kitaro Kosaka from 2003, a director and voice cast interview from 2003, premiere event footage, full feature storyboards, a retrospective interview with Kitaro Kosaka from 2023, and Media OCD trailers. This is an AnimeGo release, which is a division of Media OCD. But more importantly, I would like to thank some of the individuals behind the production of this release. The executive producer was Justin Savakis, compression was also done by Justin Savakis, the producer was David Miranda, and the authoring was done by David Miranda. The associate producer was Caleb McPhee, the international coordinator was Kei Yoshikawa, the subtitle manager was Logan Rabels, the subtitle translation was done by Linda Hoagland, additional translation was done by Sheldon Drizka, subtitle editing was done by Yuri Oliveira Petnis, the QC manager was Mark Levy, the menu packaging and design was done by Gary Swarer. Thank you to everyone involved. Without you, we wouldn't have this Blu-ray. Now let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case, and the front features the title and some very nice art that looks like a watercolor painting. The spine features the title and the AnimeGo logo at the bottom. Below that we see an AE7, which indicates that this is the 7th release from AnimeGo. At least, this is the 7th release since the company changed ownership. Collectors can use this to order their releases on their shelf. The back shows off some screenshots, a synopsis, bonus features, and technical information, most of which I covered earlier. I'll show you the insert outside of the case, and the back of the insert features some monochrome art. Inside the case, we have one disc with no physical extras. But we do have something outside the case to look at. Animego releases come with an outer cardboard slipcover, but only if you order from their online store and while supplies last. I have no idea how many of these are made for each release, so if you want one, it's best to order as soon as you can. The slipcover is packaged separately from the Blu-ray, folded flat and sealed in plastic. It's almost like an oversized trading card. If more anime distributors did this, I feel like collecting these would be a real trend. As you can see, the front and the spine are identical to the front and spine of the insert. The back is completely different from the insert back, favoring screenshots over text. This UPC code is on the plastic, not on the slipcover itself. Now I'll open this up for the first time and put it on the Blu-ray case. No, I'm not keeping this in pristine mint condition. I'll cry about it in 20 years when it's worth thousands on eBay. Here you can see what the subtitles look like. They're yellow with a black outline. Perfectly legible, and I found no typos or timing errors during my watch. This disc has plenty of special features, so if you feel that the 47-minute runtime of the film is too short for your investment, this more than makes up for it. Teasers, promos, and trailers are basic extras, but they're an important part of the film's history from its theatrical run to this Blu-ray's release. The 2003 interview with director Kitaro Kosaka, the director and voice cast interview, and the premiere event footage are all great pieces of history from the build-up and theatrical release of the film. It's wonderful to see the director and cast react to the film's success and share their thoughts on the story and characters. My favorite special feature was the 2023 interview with director Kitaro Kosaka. As I was watching the film, I wondered why a theatrically released film was in a 4:3 aspect ratio. He actually answered my question in this interview, mentioning that this was originally supposed to be released directly to home media, so it was made for television screens of that era. The storyboards are a great addition to this disc, as it's always nice to see artifacts behind the production of the film. The last special feature is a collection of trailers for other Media OCD projects. This can be accessed from the extras menu or by simply waiting until the English film credits end. This is a wonderful release from Animego, featuring a great subtitle track and all the special features you could possibly want. While the film is short, the interviews and premiere footage add up to about an hour, and there's plenty of trailers, promos, teasers, and storyboards to explore. If you want to purchase this release, the current lowest price is about $15 from Amazon, Crunchyroll, Target, and Walmart. This isn't an endorsement of any of these storefronts, but I want you to be aware of the current lowest price point. But remember that by ordering from Animego, you can get a cardboard slipcover while supplies last. Nasu is currently $19.99 on that site. We'll be taking a look at the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of Spy Family, Code White, a 2023 film from Wit Studio and Cloverworks. The Blu-ray in this combo pack is for regions A and B, while the DVD is for regions 1, 2, and 4. The film runtime is 120 minutes, with 3 minutes of bonus features. The audio is in English 5.1 surround and Japanese 5.1 surround, and English subtitles are available. This release is very light on bonus features, as it only has trailers for the movie with nothing else. The trailers are included on both the DVD and Blu-ray. This is a Crunchyroll production, but more importantly, I would like to thank some of the individuals who localized the film. The English translator was Michelle Timon, the translation editor was Alicia Ashby, the translation checker was Becky Cottrell, the voice director was Chris George, the producer was Zach Bolton, the adaptation was by Jeremy Kratz, the mixer was Andrew Tips, and the engineer was Jeremy Woods. Thank you to everyone involved. Without them, we wouldn't have this release. Now let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case with an outer cardboard sleeve. The front has the title and key art for the film, as well as a banner at the top indicating that this is a Blu-ray DVD combo pack. The spine also has this indicator at the top, as well as the title, and the Crunchyroll and Toho logos at the bottom. Toho is the Japanese distributor of this film. The back has a cutout for the UPC code and a synopsis. The single bonus feature is listed, and at the bottom there's some technical information that I went over earlier in this video. Removing the outer cardboard sleeve, we can see some different art for the front, and the spine and back are almost identical to the sleeve spine and sleeve back. I'll show you the insert outside of the case, and the other side of the insert features more art. The two images are separated by a spine, meaning that this is a reversible cover, which is nice. Inside the case, we'll find the 2 discs with no physical extras. The 2 discs look almost the same, so you'll have to pay close attention to the Blu-ray and DVD symbols on the bottom left of each disc. Also, I do want to mention that my cardboard sleeve wasn't properly glued, so there is a bit of a gap where the seal is. I don't think this will detach completely, but I'm sure a dab of glue will fix it if needed. I don't know if this is just my copy or widespread problem, but I wanted to give you all a heads up. Of course, the Blu-ray video quality is better than the DVD quality, but I'll show you some comparisons so you can see the difference. The Blu-ray subtitles are standard Crunchyroll subs, white with a black outline. I noticed no typos or timing errors during my watch. The DVD subs are also white with a black outline, but more pixelated, as is typical for DVD subtitles. The Blu-ray menu is very basic, using orange text to highlight the current selection. The DVD menu is very similar, but uses more of a gold color for the current selection. Speaking of menus, the audio and subtitle options are separated, meaning that you can select either audio option with or without subtitles. So if you know Japanese, you don't have to put up with English subs. Or if you're listening to the English audio but want subtitles anyway, you can do that. Just be aware that the English audio doesn't use the same script as the subtitles. This is usually where I would talk about the special features. So the trailers for the film are there. I really don't have much else to say. I'm glad they're included, but it would have been nice to have more stuff to look at. Because I was so unsatisfied with the lack of special features, I decided to look for them myself. So here's a collection of neat things related to Spy Family Code White. We'll start off small and get increasingly more insane moving forward. First, Japanese theaters handed out booklets called Spy Family Code White Film Files. These contained a short manga by Spy Family creator Tatsuya Endo and interviews. Next, on opening day, several statues of Bond popped up in Shibuya, Japan. The statues were a parody of the famous Hachiko statue outside of Shibuya Station. The film had a collaboration with Disney's Wish, which included a parody poster and a mashup trailer. This was fine, but was nothing compared to a collaboration with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, which also included a parody poster and mashup trailer. I thought this collaboration was perfect, with Anya watching the trailer for Mission Impossible and wanting to see the film. She would absolutely be a Mission Impossible fan. But by far the most insane collaboration was with Street Fighter 6. There was a fun promotional image, and you could get Yor and Lloyd avatars in-game, among other goodies. But the coolest part was an original animation by Studio Wit. I never knew I wanted to see Yor and Chun-Li fight, but I'm glad it happened. If you enjoyed learning about these promotions, I encourage you to search for them, since I couldn't show you everything here. To be clear, there are plenty of other promotions I didn't mention, I just chose a few that sounded interesting. So there's a lot more for you to explore if you like. Going back to the home media release, I thought it was okay, but pretty bare bones. I know that a lot of collaborations I talked about couldn't be included since other IPs were involved, but I feel that Crunchyroll could have found something to include. They could have interviewed the English dubcast if nothing else. But as it stands, if you only care about the movie, I think you'll be happy. If you want to purchase this release, the lowest price I found was $26.24 on Amazon, Crunchyroll, and Walmart. This isn't an endorsement of any of these storefronts, but I want you to be aware of the lowest current price point. Today we'll be going over the 2025 release of A Place Further Than the Universe. This is a Blu-ray distributed by Anime Limited. It has audio in English and Japanese, and English subtitles. It features 13 episodes with a runtime of 325 minutes. Extras include a clean opening and ending, and a making of the dub featurette. Usually, I would take a moment to thank everyone involved in the production of this Blu-ray release, but I could find no credits on the packaging or on the discs. I do hope that Anime Limited includes credits on future releases, because even if I have no idea who they are, I do appreciate their work. Now let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case, with the title and key art on the front of the packaging. The spine features the Anime Limited logo near the top, the show title, and the Shout Factory logo at the bottom. Shout Factory helped with the North American distribution for this show. The back has the UPC barcode at the top, a synopsis, a list of special features, and some stills from the show. Below that is some technical information, most of which I mentioned earlier. I do want to point out something strange here though. This show was apparently given an MA rating, which makes no sense at all. I don't recall any swearing, so if there was any, it was very light. There was no sexual content other than one character mentioned that another character has large breasts. How scandalous. In terms of violence, there's none. One character is grieving the death of a loved one, but that death happened off screen. This show is very tame, and I would think that it deserves a PG rating. Let's move on and open this up. I'll show you the insert outside of the case, and the reverse side shows a map of Antarctica. Inside the case, we have 2 Blu-ray discs with no physical extras. Disc 1 features episodes 1 through 7, and Disc 2 has episodes 8 through 13, as well as special features. Now would be a good time to mention that this isn't the first time this show has been released on Blu-ray in North America, but it is the first standard edition. Last year in 2024, a collector's edition was released, but it seems that it went out of print quickly. The aftermarket pricing for the collector's edition is outrageous, so this new standard edition makes this show much more accessible. I don't own the collector's edition, so I can't show it to you in detail, but I can tell you that it included the soundtrack on 2 CDs, a 92-page booklet, 4 art cards, and a poster. None of these are present in the new standard edition. The subtitles for this show are white with a black outline and drop shadow. They look exactly like the subtitles Crunchyroll has on their streaming version, and based on a casual glance, the translation seems to be the same as well. Throughout my watch, I noticed no typos or timing errors in the subtitle track. However, while there were no errors, there was an omission. None of the songs throughout the show have subtitles. Not the opening, not the ending, and none of the insert songs. There are no Japanese or English lyrics on screen at all. This is disappointing, and it's like that on the Crunchyroll version as well. In my opinion, this is a pretty severe blemish on an otherwise perfect subtitle track. As for the English dub, your enjoyment will of course depend on your preferences. However, I do need to mention that as of the making of this video, Crunchyroll doesn't have the dub of this show. If you want to watch the English dub, I suggest buying this Blu-ray. The menus feature a slideshow of images accompanied by music from the show. A blue penguin icon marks the current selection on top of a blue background. I was able to see this without issues, but this could be difficult for someone with a visual impairment. As stated earlier, the extras include a clean opening and ending, and a featurette about the making of the English dub. In this 8-minute featurette, you will meet the main cast and watch them record some of their lines. If you've seen voice acting work before, this will be nothing new. But if you haven't seen voice actors in the recording booth before, I encourage you to watch this featurette. In summary, while this release may have some flaws, it's just great to finally have it on Blu-ray after all of these years. This show first aired in 2018, so fans have been waiting for quite some time. If you would like to purchase this Blu-ray, the lowest price I found was $45.99 from Amazon, Target, and Walmart. This isn't an endorsement of any of these storefronts, I just want you to be aware of the lowest current price point. This one will be a bit different as I'll be covering 2 releases, those being the 2 Blu-ray sets of the 2022 Urusei Yatsura TV series. This is a reboot of the classic 1981 series, mainly focused on highlighting the large cast of characters and memorable moments. You don't have to watch the original series first, but it's one of, if not the best anime of all time, so take that into consideration. Anyway, back to the reboot review. The first set was released last year in 2024. It features 23 episodes with audio in English and Japanese. It has English subtitles and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. Special features include clean openings and endings, episode previews, and Japanese promos. The second set was released recently in April of 2025. It features 23 episodes with audio in Japanese. Yes, this set has no English dub, I'll talk about that later. It has English subtitles, but no English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. Special features include clean openings and endings, web previews, and Japanese promos. These sets are distributed by Sentai Filmworks, but more importantly, I would like to take a moment to thank all of the people who made this release possible. Luckily, Sentai does a good job providing disc credits, which are on screen now. Now let's take a look at the packaging. Both sets are in standard Blu-ray cases, but oddly, they are slightly different. This is very apparent when looking at where the cases open. The lips where you grip the opening are different sizes. This doesn't really matter, the cases are the same size and will look identical while sitting on your shelf. But if this bothers you, you may want to find some replacement cases. though I should mention that cases may vary depending on when the item was printed, so your copies may be different than mine. Anyway, let's get back on track. The fronts on both sets feature the best girl not on Earth, Lum. The title is in the bottom right, and in the bottom left it mentions which seasons each set contains. This can be a bit confusing. Sentai says that the show is 4 seasons, but every other authority says it's 2 seasons. Either way, it's a total of 46 episodes, and it's all contained in these 2 sets. The spines both have the title, another picture of Lum, the contents, and the Sentai logo at the bottom. The backs again show the contents, along with a synopsis and some screenshots. They both make sure to let you know that this is a Rumiko Takahashi show. If you don't know her name, you have probably heard of her creations, which include Ranma 1/2 and Inuyasha. Further down, we'll see a listing of special features and technical information, most of which I talked about earlier. Give me a minute and I'll show you the inserts outside of the cases, and the back of both inserts are blank. We'll take a look inside, and there are no physical extras. Each set has 4 discs. Set 1, Disc 1 has episodes 1 through 9. Disc 2 has episodes 10 and 11, and extras. Disc 3 has episodes 12 through 20. Disc 4 has episodes 21 through 23 and extras. Set 2, Disc 1 has episodes 24 through 32. Disc 2 has episodes 33 through 35 and extras. Disc 3 has episodes 36 through 43. Disc 4 has episodes 44 through 46 and extras. The subtitles on both sets are yellow with a thin black outline, which is standard for Sentai Filmworks releases. During my watch, I found no typos or timing errors. Now for the elephant in the room. Or maybe the alien Oni tiger ox thing in the room. Only half of this series was dubbed in English. I'm not sure why the dub was cancelled, but it's just par for the course at this point. The original Urusei Yatsura had multiple English dub attempts, but none of them managed to complete the series. So if you prefer dubs, just be aware that you can only watch half of this show in English. I also found that the English audio track was quieter than the Japanese one. It wasn't too quiet to watch, but it's a bit odd. You may have to raise your volume a bit when watching in English. You may have noticed that the second set not only has no English dub, but it also lacks subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. It's disappointing to see Sentai drop the ball in 2 different ways for the second set. It also makes me wonder about the future printings of this show. For many other Sentai shows, they will eventually combine multiple seasons into one complete series release. If they do that for this show, it will be really awkward for people to find out halfway through the show that the dub ended and the subtitles for the deaf and the hard of hearing are gone. Maybe they'll add these in future releases, but I'm not holding my breath. Moving on to special features, these 2 releases contain clean openings and endings for all 4 openings and all 4 endings. This is completely expected, but it's always nice to have these included. Both sets include previews, but set 1 calls them episode previews while set 2 calls them web previews. They're the same thing, they're just short previews of each episode. More extras are always welcome, but personally I won't be going back to these ever again. For some reason, while both sets have Japanese promos, they are only listed on the set 2 packaging. Set 1 fails to mention them, but they are still there on disc 2. However, even without this weird promo fumble, the extras in these sets are fairly light. I wouldn't recommend these sets if you only want special features. I also wouldn't recommend these releases for people who just prefer dubs, or people with hearing impairments. Really, I can only recommend this if you prefer Japanese audio and don't care about extras. If you want these sets, the lowest price I found for set 1 was $50.11 from Amazon and Target. Lowest price I found for set 2 was $44.99, also from Amazon and Target. This isn't an endorsement of either storefront, I just want you to be aware of the lowest current price point. As a huge fan of Urusei Yatsura, it's really disappointing that these are subpar releases. While this reboot isn't a masterpiece like the original series, it's still very good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you're a fan of this reboot, I think you'll still find enjoyment out of these Blu-rays in spite of their flaws. In the end, the show is on Blu-ray, even if it isn't perfect. Some shows don't even have that much. Today we'll be taking a look at the 2025 Blu-ray release of Data Live Season 5. This is a Blu-ray for regions A and B distributed by Crunchyroll. It has English and Japanese audio and English subtitles. It contains episodes 1 through 12 for a total runtime of 300 minutes. Special features include promo videos, a commercial, and a clean opening and ending. The listed runtime for the special features is 8 minutes. This is a Crunchyroll production, but more importantly, I would like to thank all the people who worked on this release. Disc credits are available on Disc 1 and subtitle credits are at the end of the last episode. I'll show you both so you can see them. Now let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case with a slipcover. The front of the slipcover features the logo and key art. The spine has the logo as well as an episode count. The Crunchyroll logo is at the bottom. The back has a hole for the UPC barcode and a brief synopsis. Beneath that is a listing of special features and character portraits. At the bottom, there's some technical information, most of which I covered earlier. Taking off the slipcover, we see different key art and the logo again. The spine and back are nearly identical to the slipcover spine and back. I'll show you the insert outside the case. The back of the insert features a reversible cover with different art on the front and back, and the logo on the spine. Inside the case, we find 2 discs with no physical extras. Disc 1 features episodes 1 through 8, and Disc 2 has episodes 9 through 12 and special features. As this is just one season of a series, I'll show you how this will look on your shelf with the other Day Live seasons. My Season 1 isn't the standard edition, it's the discounted save edition that Funimation used to do. So it looks different and it doesn't have a slipcover. If you have the regular edition, it might match better. But honestly, count yourself lucky if you own it at all. The first season is out of print and very expensive.
That is so lame.
Seasons 2 through 4 look nice and uniform, but Season 5 changed the logo and moved things lower, so it's not quite the same. It looks fine, but not as good as it could have been.
That's so lame.
But the biggest difference between this season and all the previous ones is that this is a Blu-ray only. The others were all Blu-ray DVD combo packs, so be aware that Season 5 does not have a DVD release of any kind.
That's so lame.
I would argue that if you don't own a Blu-ray player, you should really consider investing in one, but I can't tell you what to do. One thing that has stayed fairly consistent across each season is the menu design. If you own the first 4 seasons, this should look pretty familiar. It works, and it's easy to navigate. The subtitles are what you would expect from a Crunchyroll Blu-ray. White text with black outline. During my watch, I found no typos or timing errors. Disc 2 has all the special features. The clean opening and ending are no surprise, but they're always welcome. The commercial was okay, but nothing special. What I really liked were the promo videos. While these were an assortment of clips and stock images, they were edited very nicely. I thought they were pretty cool, and I'll be sure to check them out again next time I watch this Blu-ray. This is a good release with everything you need and expect, but not with a lot of bells and whistles. Some people may be disappointed by the lack of DVDs, but I understand why Crunchyroll is phasing out DVD at this point. As long as you're okay with the Blu-rays, I think you'll be satisfied with this release. If you want to pick this up, the lowest price I found was $51.99 on Amazon, Target, and Walmart. This isn't an endorsement for any of these retailers, I just want you to be aware of the lowest current price point. If you don't mind waiting, I'm sure you can find this for a lower price later. Seasons 2 through 4 are all still readily available, so I don't think this is in any danger of going out of print in the foreseeable future. Today we'll be taking a look at the 2025 release of Dandadan Season 1 on Blu-ray. This is a Blu-ray for region A, and it features audio in English and Japanese. It has subtitles in English, English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, French, Brazilian Portuguese, and Spanish subtitles. The main content is 12 episodes. Special features include an interview with the filmmakers, director scene breakdown, interview with composer Kensuke Ushio, commemorative interviews, teasers and trailers, and a clean opening and ending. This is a G-Kids release, but more importantly, I would like to thank the individuals who worked on this Blu-ray. Luckily, G-Kids put disc credits at the end of each episode, and you can see them on screen now. Let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case with an outer cardboard sleeve. The front features the title, an indication that this is Season 1, and some art. Regrettably, it also has a sticker on it advertising that there is an hour of bonus features. I think a stickerless sleeve would have been another great feature, but oh well. Luckily, it looks like it should be easy to remove. The spine has the G-Kids logo at the top, the title and Season 1, and a portrait of Okarun. The back has a window for the UPC barcode, a list of bonus features, some technical information, and a synopsis. Taking off the cardboard sleeve, we can see that the front is nearly identical to the sleeve front. The spine and back continued this trend with no major differences. I'll show you the insert outside the case, and the back of the insert has some creepy art of Turbo Granny. The inside features 2 discs with no physical extras, at least not in the standard edition. Disc 1 has episodes 1 through 6 and bonus features. Disc 2 has episodes 7 through 12 and bonus features. Unlike most other anime releases, the bonus features are split between the 2 discs. To clarify, Disc 1 has the interview with the filmmakers, director scene breakdown, and clean opening and ending. Disc 2 has the interview with composer Kensuke Ushio, the commemorative interviews, and the teasers and trailers. The subtitles for this release are thick white letters with a thin black outline. I noticed no typos or timing errors during my watch, though sometimes they do have a bit of fun with the subtitles, which is nice to see. You can see this in this scene. There are some non-standard subtitles filling the screen and being swatted away. This is actually different from the broadcast version, which featured Japanese characters instead of English words. Here's the original broadcast version. And here is the Blu-ray version again. Note that the Blu-ray only has the English text, it doesn't have the original broadcast version with Japanese characters. Even if you choose Japanese audio with no subtitles, it still has the English text. I'm not sure if the animation studio, Science Starro, made 2 versions of the scene, or if G-Kids did this themselves. It's such an odd situation that I haven't really seen it before. As for the dub, obviously your enjoyment will depend on your preferences. But I will note that the English dub was a bit quieter than the Japanese audio. The special features were also on the quiet side. This isn't terrible, but be prepared to adjust the volume. I'll show you a sample of both audio tracks with no volume adjustment done on my end. The menus are really nice, easy to navigate, and not boring at all. The opening plays on the Disc 1 menu and the ending plays on the Disc 2 menu. Before I get into special features, I'll mention that a collector's edition released on the same day. In addition to all the extras from the standard edition, it has a 32-page art book, 6 art cards, and a sticker. The disc art is also different, and it's pretty creative. I wish they used the same disc art on both editions. Actually, I have no idea why they use different disc art. As far as I can tell, the disc content on the 2 editions should be exactly the same. All sources list the same on-disc features. I considered buying the collector's edition, but I personally didn't care for the physical extras that it had to offer, and it was about double the price of the standard edition. I don't care about stickers or art cards, and while I like art books, this is more of a art booklet. I love this show, but ultimately, there's no reason to pay so much for things that I don't want. But if you like these extras, more power to you. And the collector's edition is still cheaper than premium editions of most other shows, so I can see an argument for buying it. Now let's look at those special features. This release has plenty to offer, with most of them being interviews. I'm certainly not complaining, I love interviews, and we get 3 of them, plus a scene breakdown with the director. So basically 4 interviews. The other special features are fairly standard, but welcome. A clean opening and ending, teasers, and trailers. As we approach the end of the review, I want to point out how groundbreaking this release is. This is bucking all kinds of trends in the anime home media market. First, this is an exceptionally fast turnaround from TV broadcast to Blu-ray. This show aired from October to December of 2024, so it's only been about half a year since it finished airing. It's typical for Blu-rays to come out a full year after the original broadcast. I don't know if this is G-Kids being fast or if the Japanese Blu-rays came out quickly, but either way, I'm happy to have this before Season 2 starts airing in a few weeks. Second, the pricing for this release is very affordable. The lowest price I found for the standard edition was $24.49 on Amazon and Walmart. This is about half the price of most other brand new season releases. Crunchyroll has had a pretty standard price of about $55 for their releases, and this is one of the most popular shows of 2024, if not the decade. G-Kids is offering a high demand product for a great price, and I hope it works for them. The collector's edition can be found for $49.99 at Amazon, G-Kids, and Walmart. Again, it's double the price of the standard edition, but it's still less expensive than most premium editions, which are usually at least $70. And finally, even with a quick turnaround, even with a low price, this release comes packed with special features. Now, I won't lie and say that this is the most comprehensive release ever, because it isn't. But it's still more than most releases tend to offer. And it also comes packed with subtitle options. Subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing are always welcome. I wish it was standard to include them. French, Brazilian Portuguese, and Spanish are fantastic inclusions, and when you add all the subtitle tracks together, this covers about a third of all the people in the world. Now, this is hindered by the fact that it's strictly a Region A Blu-ray, but I still think that the inclusion of languages is commendable. I would have liked more dubs, but I understand that those are more difficult to include. I would really like to see G-Kids release more shows in the future and really challenge Crunchyroll and Sentai Filmworks. When you consider the content, price, and timing, this release is better than any other release in recent memory. Today we'll be taking a look at the 2025 Steelbook release of Grave of the Fireflies. This is a Blu-ray DVD combo pack featuring one 89-minute film. There are 2 English audio tracks, one from 1998 and the other from 2012. The original Japanese audio is also included. Subtitle options include English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, French, and Spanish. Special features include feature-length storyboards, deleted scene storyboards, image galleries, joint project promotional video, interview with director Yasao Takahata, interview with Roger Ebert, and teasers and trailers. This is a G-Kids release, but more importantly, I would like to thank all the individuals involved. There are some disc credits at the end of the movie credits, but there were clearly more people involved than what we see here. Regardless, I would like to thank all of them for their work. Now let's take a look at the packaging. This is a steelbook, but if you prefer a standard case, that is also available, with all of the same content included. The front of the steelbook features some beautiful art and the title. It also notes that this is a Studio Ghibli film, directed by Isao Takahata. The spine has the G-Kids logo at the top, the title, and the Studio Ghibli logo at the bottom. The back features a firefly pattern with some corporate information at the bottom. However, if you find a shrink-wrapped copy of this steelbook, it will have a paper slip attached to the back with a dab of glue. I have already removed that slip, but luckily, it fits perfectly inside the case. It's exactly the right size. You can't use the plastic clips to hold it in place, or the case won't close. But there is a small plastic tab that can hold onto it. The slip features the UPC barcode, a short blurb, some screenshots, a synopsis, a list of bonus features, and technical information, most of which I covered earlier. The back of the slip is blank. Also included is a catalog of Studio Ghibli home media releases. The inside of the catalog features all the standard edition Blu-ray DVD combo packs, and the back features all the Steelbook Blu-ray DVD combo packs. Finally, we have 2 discs, 1 Blu-ray and 1 DVD. While the Blu-ray is partially stacked on the DVD, each has their own hub to hold them in place, and the bottom of the Blu-ray does not touch the DVD. Now would be a good time to mention that this film has been released on Blu-ray before, but not by G-Kids. Sentai Filmworks once had the distribution license, and I have their standard edition release from 2012. The front features some different art, but the same font for the title. The spine has the title, an image of Setsuko, and the Sentai logo at the bottom. The back features some reviews, a synopsis, a list of special features, some screenshots, and technical information. I'll show you the insert outside of the case. And the back of the insert is blank. Inside the case there's one Blu-ray disc, and that's it. Sentai also released a Steelbook version in 2012, which I don't own, but it has all the same content as the standard Sentai edition, plus a bonus art card. Sentai released a DVD version in 2012 alongside the standard Blu-ray, but sold separately. So it's been about 13 years since the last DVD release, and 5 years since the last Blu-ray Steelbook release. All of the Sentai releases are out of print and can be fairly expensive, so this new G-Kids release is welcome. Please be aware that the content on the new G-Kids release is different from the old Sentai release. The film itself has been recently remastered, so it does look slightly better on the G-Kids release. The subtitles feature a new English translation. I don't know enough Japanese to comment on which track is better, but they are different. The old Sentai subs are yellow with a black outline, and the new G-Kids subs are white with a black outline. Both are perfectly legible, and I found no typos or timing errors on either of them. Also of note, the new G-Kids release has 3 additional subtitle tracks not present in the old Sentai release, those being English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, French, and Spanish. Both releases have the original Japanese audio, the 1998 English dub, and the 2012 English dub. Both of them lack the 2025 Netflix English dub. If the Netflix dub ever sees a release on physical media, it's going to be a very long wait. There's always next decade. The menu on the old Sentai release is pretty bare bones, but it does the job. The new G-Kids release is more dynamic, playing the main theme over clips of the movie. It was easy to navigate as well. As for special features, both releases have the storyboards and deleted scene storyboards. The old Sentai release has the Japanese theatrical trailer, while the new G-Kids release has that one, among many more. The new release has 2 interviews, a promotional video, and image galleries. The only thing that the old Sentai release has that the new G-Kids release doesn't is the Sentai Filmworks trailers. So really, the new release is a definitive release that can replace the old one entirely. The storyboards and image galleries are nice to have, but so extensive that it can be a bit overwhelming. I particularly liked the behind-the-scenes image gallery. It gave a unique look into the production of the film. Teasers and trailers are fairly standard inclusions, but always welcome. The promotional video is actually about Grave of the Fireflies and My Neighbor Totoro, as they were made and released alongside each other in Japanese theaters. Imagine the emotional whiplash of that double feature. The promotional video has interviews with Isao Takahata and Hayao Miyazaki. It's an old special feature and not the best video quality, but it's an amazing piece of history. The interviews with director Isao Takahata and film critic Roger Ebert were both fantastic. Hearing the director speak about their work is always worthwhile, and we rarely get to hear American professional film critics talk about anime at length. These special features are absolutely worth the price of the Blu-ray. And speaking of price, if you would like to purchase this Steelbook, the lowest price I found was $21.58 on Crunchyroll, but can be found for less than $1 more at plenty of other retailers. If you prefer the standard edition, which again features all the same content minus the Steelbook, you can find it for $17.99 on Amazon, G-Kids, Target, and Walmart. Overall, this is a great release of a classic film. It has everything the Sentai version has and more, so this is the most definitive release of Grave of the Fireflies available. The extras are absolutely worthwhile and the price is affordable. I can't recommend this enough. Today we'll be taking a look at the 2025 Blu-ray release of Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian Season 1. This 2-disc Blu-ray has audio in English and Japanese and English subtitles. It has 12 episodes for a runtime of 300 minutes. Special features include web previews, character videos, promo videos, commercials, a clean opening, and 12 clean endings. This is a Crunchyroll production, but more importantly, I would like to thank all the individuals who worked on this release. Fortunately, disc credits are included, so their names are on screen now. Let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case with an outer cardboard sleeve. The main cast is on the cover and the logo is in the bottom right. The spine has a portrait of Alya at the top, the title, a Season 1 indicator, and the Crunchyroll logo. The back has a window for the UPC barcode, a synopsis, and some screenshots. Below that is a listing of special features and some technical information, most of which I covered earlier. We'll take off the sleeve and take a look at what's underneath. The front has different art and the logo in the upper left. The spine is the same as the sleeve spine, minus the portrait of Alya. The back is identical to the sleeve back. I'll show you the insert outside the case. And the back of the insert features the reason why I can't find a girlfriend. Inside the case, we will find 2 discs and no physical extras. Disc 1 has episodes 1 through 6 and bonus features. Disc 2 has episodes 7 through 12 and bonus features. This is a bit different from most Crunchyroll releases, as the episodes and special features are split evenly between the 2 discs. Now I should mention that there is a limited edition of this release, which came out on the same day as the standard edition. This limited edition has a different cover and 3 art cards. Those are the only 2 differences. Personally, I don't care about art cards, so I bought the standard edition. But if you like art cards, maybe the limited edition is for you. The subtitles on the release are standard Crunchyroll subs, white with a black outline. Throughout my watch, I noticed no typos or timing errors. Note that even if you watch the show without subtitles, Russian dialogue will still have subtitles. So if you happen to know Russian, sorry, you get subtitles whether you want them or not. The menus are simple and highlight the current selection in a deep pink, almost purple color. This isn't the worst, but I wouldn't say that it's easy to see. Viewers with visual impairments may have trouble navigating the menus. As for special features, Disc 1 has web previews for the first half of the show, 5 character videos, the clean opening, and clean versions of endings 1 through 6. Disc 2 has web previews for the second half of the show, 3 promo videos, 2 commercials, and clean versions of endings 7 through 12. All of these special features are pretty standard, and they're all self-explanatory. However, you may be surprised to see 12 clean endings. The show features a different ending for each episode, which was a nice surprise each time. The songs are covers of popular songs, some of which are from other anime. Now, usually in my reviews, I talk about the home media release, not the show itself. But I have to mention ending number 4, which was a cover of Hare Hare Yukai. You may know this song as the first ending song in the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya anime. This song, and more importantly the dance, became a worldwide sensation. People everywhere were doing this dance, and anime to this day try to replicate this phenomenon with their own opening and ending dances. It's without a doubt the most important anime dance ever. So let's take a look at how this show pays tribute to this song. This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you cover Hare Hare Yukai and not do the dance? Sorry, I'm done. I'll take a seat. All of that aside, the special features are nothing amazing, but they include all the essentials that you would expect to be included. This is a solid release, and if you own a few Crunchyroll titles, you already know exactly what this release is like. If you would like to purchase this Blu-ray, the lowest price I found for the standard edition was $51.99 from Amazon and Walmart. If you prefer the limited edition, it's available for $54.99, also from Amazon and Walmart. It's only a $3 difference, so really it's just a matter of whether you want those art cards or not. Today we'll be taking a look at the 2025 Blu-ray release of Deers.
What the hell is that? Excuse me! What on earth are you watching in the middle of broad daylight? It's called porn. Porn?
This Blu-ray has English and Japanese audio. It has 2 subtitle options, those being English and English signs and songs. It has 13 episodes for a runtime of 325 minutes. Special features include a clean opening and ending. This is a Discotek production, but more importantly, I would like to thank all the individuals involved in this release. Fortunately, disc credits are included at the very end of the last episode after the normal credits. Let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case with an outer cardboard sleeve. The front features some Yuri bait, and for any Yuri fans out there, I'm sorry, this really is bait. This is a very heterosexual show. The spine has cutouts at the top and bottom, which is standard for Discotek releases. The top has a portrait of Ren, and the title with the statement that this is the complete collection. At the bottom are the Eastern Star and Discotek logos, with Eastern Star being a publishing label owned by Discotek. The back has even more Yuri bait, a synopsis, screenshots, and technical information toward the bottom, most of which I covered earlier. Under the cardboard sleeve, the show reveals its true colors with the main female and male lead characters. The spine is identical to the sleeve spine, and the back is identical to the sleeve back. I'll show you the insert outside of the case. and the back of the insert is a reversible cover. Inside the case, we have one disc with no physical extras. It's amazing that they were able to cram this whole show onto one disc with a dub. There are hardly any special features, so that may be helped. You may be concerned about the video quality with 13 episodes being put onto one disc. Another thing to note is that this series was AI upscaled using AstroRes technology. Personally, I think the show looks great, considering it was made in standard definition in 2004, but you can all see the footage for yourselves. Discotek is known for their quality, so I do trust them not to cut corners. They have used AstroRes many times in the past, always to positive results. If you have ethical concerns about AI, I understand, but that's outside the scope of this video. This show had a prior release from Discotek about 10 years ago on DVD. Before that, it was released on DVD by Genion. I have neither of those releases, so I can't provide a comparison, but I'm sure this Blu-ray looks much better than either of those DVDs. The subtitles are yellow with a black outline. Song lyrics are subtitled in both English and Japanese with different colors, which is a very nice touch. Throughout my watch, I noticed no typos or timing errors. The menu is simple, but it does the job. The opening plays, and the current selection is bold and pink, so it stands out fairly well. Special features are again just a clean opening and ending. A bit disappointing, but Discotek prefers to include special features when they can, so I guess it just wasn't possible to include more. I looked up the special features on the old DVD releases, and the clean opening and ending were all I found, so at least we haven't lost special features over time. If the lack of special features leaves you wanting more Deer's content, there's a manga that the anime is based on, and in addition, there is a visual novel released on PlayStation 2 which seems to take place after the anime. In summary, while this release is by far the best way to watch this show, the lack of special features makes it feel a bit bare bones. Again, I understand that this isn't Discotek's fault per se, but I'm reviewing the product as it is. This release is just 13 episodes, nothing more, nothing less, so consider that when thinking about how much you're willing to pay for it. If you do decide to purchase this release, the lowest price I found was $31.96 on Amazon, Animego, and Crunchyroll. Today we'll be taking a look at the 2025 release of Vampire Hunter D. This Blu-ray features audio in English and Japanese with English subtitles. Note that this is the 2015 Sentai Filmworks English dub. The original English dub from Streamline Pictures is not included. The main content is one 80-minute film or OVA depending on what you want to call it. The only special feature is the Japanese trailer. This is a Sentai Filmworks release, but more importantly, I would like to thank the individuals who worked on this Blu-ray. Thankfully, disc credits can be found on the special features menu and are on screen now. I think it's weird to call this a special feature, but as long as it's included, it's a win. Let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case with an hour cardboard sleeve. The top lacks the usual Blu-ray banner, making the packaging stand out from most Blu-rays. The front features the logo, art, and the Sentai logo in the bottom right. The spine also features the title, the same art, and the Sentai logo at the bottom, along with the Toho logo. Toho is the Japanese distributor of this film. The back features a synopsis, some screenshots, a note that this has been remastered, and technical information at the bottom, most of which I covered earlier. For some reason, there is no listing of special features even if there is only one trailer. Taking off the sleeve, the front features some gorgeous art by Yoshitaka Amano. The spine is the same as the sleeve spine, but with the Amano art instead. The back is identical to the sleeve back. I'll show you the insert outside of the case. And the back of the insert is blank. Inside the case we'll find one disc with no physical extras. The subtitles are yellow with a black outline, as is standard for Sentai releases. Throughout my watch, I noticed no typos or timing errors. The menu has the Yoshitaka Amano art piece, and the main theme plays. The current selection is highlighted in red. It's simple, but it's easy to navigate. Now would be a good time to mention that this film was released in 1985 in theaters and to home video. It was mainly intended for the home media release, which is why it's presented in a 4:3 aspect ratio. So called a film, called an OVA, both are correct. Vampire Hunter D managed to come over to the West in the early 90s, so it has enjoyed several home media releases. You can find this on VHS, Laserdisc, DVD, and Blu-ray. Before this 2025 release, it had most recently been released on Blu-ray by Sentai in 2022. Before that, Sentai released it as a Blu-ray Steelbook in 2020. Before that, it had been released as a standard Blu-ray and DVD by Sentai in 2015. I don't have any of the previous Sentai releases, but they seem to be pretty similar to this one. Of course, one has a steelbook and another one is a DVD. The standard Blu-rays before this all seem to be identical, other than packaging and the inclusion of Sentai previews. Sentai seems to have stopped including these in recent years, not a big loss in my opinion. Before Sentai Filmworks obtained the license for Vampire Hunter D, a distributor called Urban Vision released it on DVD and VHS in the year 2000. So yes, there was a 15-year gap between releases. I have the DVD here, so let's take a look at it. The front has a completely different logo, and it states that this is the special edition. This doesn't really mean anything other than differentiating itself from the previous streamline releases on VHS and Laserdisc. The spine has the title, the special edition note, and the Urban Vision logo. The back has technical information at the top and a nostalgic rating gauge. Anime distributors used to get creative with their age ratings. This is, of course, for mature audiences. There's a synopsis, screenshots, and a listing of special features. I'll show you the insert outside of the case, and the back of the insert is blank. Inside the case, we will find one disc and one booklet. I'll show you what's in that booklet. We will find a synopsis and some other Urban Vision releases. The back has a scene index and a listing of special features. The subtitles on the DVD are white with a pixelated black outline. Honestly, as far as DVD subs go, these are fairly good, but the subtitles aren't the highlight of this DVD. There are two things about this release that make it worth owning. The first great thing about this DVD is that it includes the original English dub from Streamline Pictures. None of the Sentai releases have it, making this the most recent release with that dub. Of course, this doesn't have the Sentai dub, as this release predates that dub by 15 years. This DVD is, sadly, the only release to have a substantial amount of special features. The Making of Vampire Hunter D documentary and the image gallery are the main attractions. There's also a preview of the Vampire Hunter D video game, trailers for other Urban Vision releases, and web links. This release makes an odd change to the film, swapping out the original logo for their own logo near the beginning of the film. This doesn't sit right with me. Changing the visuals of the film is a pretty big overstep in localization. Really, I only recommend watching this DVD for the old dub and the special features. The new release is best for general viewing purposes. Overall, this is a very bare-bones release, missing the original English dub and multiple special features. Speaking of missing special features, this is missing the English trailer, which I saw in theaters. This film had the limited theatrical re-release earlier this year for its 40th anniversary. I saw a trailer for it in the theater, and later I found it online. It's actually a bit surprising that this wasn't included in the Blu-ray. Even with its numerous flaws, this is still the best way to watch this movie, and Sentai seems to be content with reprinting the Blu-ray again and again, so I don't think there's much hope of another company releasing a better version in the future. If you would like to purchase this film, the lowest price I found was $15.99 on Amazon. This isn't an endorsement of Amazon, but I do want you to be aware of the current lowest price point. Today we'll be taking a look at the 2025 Blu-ray release of Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnations Season 1. This 4-disc Blu-ray features English and Japanese audio and English subtitles. The main content is 23 episodes and 1 OVA. Many sources say that this is 24 episodes, so I do want to clarify that it's 23 normal episodes and 1 OVA. The OVA takes place concurrently with episode 16, but it's placed last on the Blu-ray because it came out after the season was over. Episode 23 is the big season finale. Special features include a dub cast panel, voice actor Q&A, promo videos, commercials, clean openings, and clean endings. This is a Crunchyroll production, but more importantly, I would like to thank the individuals involved in making this Blu-ray. Fortunately, disc credits are included after the last episode on each disc and are shown on screen now. Let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case with an outer cardboard sleeve. The front features the logo and art of several characters. The spine has a portrait of Rudius, the title, a Season 1 indicator, and the Crunchyroll logo at the bottom. The back has a hole for the UPC barcode, some screenshots, a synopsis, a list of special features, and some technical information, most of which I mentioned earlier. Underneath the sleeve, we'll find the logo and more art on the front. The spine is identical to the sleeve spine. The back is the same as the sleeve back, but it features Roxy instead of Rudius. I'll show you the insert outside of the case. And the back of the insert features a very nice art piece. Inside the case, we'll find 4 discs and no physical extras. You may notice that the discs are numbered 1212. The episodes contained on each disc are printed on them, so you can figure out the proper order that way. But why are they numbered this way instead of 1, 2, 3, 4? Well, this season was previously released as 2 Blu-ray DVD combo packs in 2022 and 2023. The Blu-rays from these 2 sets were used for the new full season Blu-ray set. The discs are exactly the same, they didn't even change the labels, so they are discs 1 and 2 from set 1 and discs 1 and 2 from set 2. So the only differences between the old releases and the new one are the packaging and the exclusion of the DVDs from the new release. If you want this show on DVD, you will have to get the 2 old releases. Unfortunately, I don't own the 2 old releases, so I can't offer a comparison. But again, the Blu-ray discs are the same, so the footage you see on screen will look the same as the Blu-rays from the 2 old sets. Speaking of the footage, you may notice that there is a fair amount of film grain and sketchy lines throughout the entirety of this show. This is not a flaw in the Blu-ray, this is an intentional part of the show. As for why the animation team did this, I don't have a concrete answer. Maybe they just like the aesthetic. The menu is simple, music plays and the current selection is highlighted in a brownish red. This isn't very easy to see. There were times where I couldn't find where I was right away. For viewers with visual impairments, I imagine this menu will be challenging. The subtitles are white with a black outline, standard for a Crunchyroll release. I noticed no typos or timing errors throughout my watch. As for special features, the commercials and promo videos are about what you would expect. I will mention that the first promo video was made as an announcement that the series was in production, and features animation that wasn't used in the show. Definitely check that one out. The clean endings are pretty standard, but the clean openings are a bit strange. This show doesn't have normal openings, it plays them over the establishing shots for that episode, so the opening is actually part of the episode. Crunchyroll seems to have not been sure how to handle this. When you select the clean openings option, it plays the beginning of episode 2 and it goes on for several minutes. Eventually it gets to the part with the song, but it really didn't need to play that much of the episode. This is just weird and it seems like a mistake. The voice actor Q&A offers little of substance. All the questions are fluffy questions like, what kind of magic would you like to use? You will learn nothing about the actual production of the dub. If you're a fan of the actors and want to get to know them a bit more, you may enjoy this, but otherwise I would skip it. The dub cast panel is similar to the voice actor Q&A, but it's a literal Zoom meeting. I understand that this was likely due to COVID restrictions, as this was produced years ago. However, it's objectively very low quality. And just like the Q&A, the topics are not exactly thought-provoking. While this set does offer several special features, your enjoyment will definitely depend on what kind of special features you like. I do like the unique promo video quite a bit, but the rest felt a bit lacking. While this release has its flaws, it's a cost-effective way to own the show. This is being sold for the same price as each of the 2 old releases, but contains all 24 episodes. Speaking of the price, the lowest price I found was $52.99 on Amazon. As of the making of this video, the Amazon listing has an incorrect image showing Season 2 Part 2. But based on the product information and reviews, this is the complete Season 1 set. Target and Walmart also made the same mistake, so I think they were all given the wrong images. Today we'll be taking a look at the Blu-ray DVD combo pack releases of Mushoku Tensei Season 2 Parts 1 and 2. These 2 sets each feature 2 Blu-rays and 2 DVDs. They have audio in English and Japanese and subtitles in English. Part 1 features episodes 0 through 12, and Part 2 features episodes 13 through 24. So Part 1 has 13 episodes, and Part 2 has 12 episodes. Part 1 special features include promo videos and a clean opening and ending, while Part 2 just has a clean opening and ending. These 2 sets are produced by Crunchyroll, but more importantly, I would like to thank the individuals involved in their release. Fortunately, disc credits are included in both and are shown on screen now. Let's take a look at the packaging. These are standard Blu-ray cases with an outer cardboard sleeve. Both front covers feature the logo in the upper right. The spines have a character portrait at the top, the title, a Season 2 indicator, a Part 1 or 2 indicator, and the Crunchyroll logo at the bottom. The backs are very similar, both featuring a hole for the UPC barcode, an image of Rudius, screenshots, a synopsis, a list of bonus features, and some technical information at the bottom. Taking off the sleeves, you will notice that the front of the inserts are identical to the fronts of the sleeves. The spines are just like the sleeve spines, and the backs are almost the same as the sleeve backs. Instead of featuring Rudius, they feature Fitz. I'll show you the inserts outside of the case. In the back of the inserts feature art of various characters. Inside the cases, we will find the discs and no physical extras. In Part 1, Blu-ray 1 and DVD 1 feature episodes 0 through 6, and Blu-ray 2 and DVD 2 feature episodes 7 through 12. In Part 2, Blu-ray 3 and DVD 3 feature episodes 13 through 18, and Blu-ray 4 and DVD 4 feature episodes 19 through 24. Special features are included on Blu-rays 2 and 4. The subtitles are white with a black outline, as is standard for Crunchyroll releases. Throughout my watch, I noticed no typo. Wait a minute. In episode 13, as the credits begin to roll, a subtitle line reads, "Sylphie allowed me get back something precious." It should read, "Sylphie allowed me to get back something precious." This certainly isn't the worst subtitle typo I've ever seen, but generally, the presence of any typos at all is pretty bad in my eyes. Crunchyroll isn't a tiny subtitling group that are just trying their best. They're a major company and should thoroughly proofread their titles before finalizing the product. The DVD subs are also white with a black outline, but more pixelated, as you would expect from DVD subs. And yes, the subtitle typo is present here as well. The menus are simple, but they do the job. The current selection is highlighted in brown, and I have no trouble navigating the Blu-ray or DVD menus. As far as special features go, these releases have little to offer. Part 1 has a clean opening and ending and preview videos. The first preview video features some unique animations, so I do recommend checking that out. But that's it. Part 2 is even more bare bones, with only a clean opening and ending. While clean openings and endings are always nice, they're the bare minimum that can be included. If you like to buy physical media for special features, I can confidently say you should just skip both of these. Overall, I actually think these releases are pretty bad. The subtitle typo is a mistake that shouldn't have happened, and there are basically no special features. Meanwhile, I have nothing positive to say about them. If you just want to own the show, this is it, but honestly, you may just want to wait. Season 1 was released in 2 parts just like this, but then they eventually released a complete Season 1 set for a lower price. I imagine they'll do the same with Season 2. If you do want to purchase these 2 sets, the lowest price I found for Part 1 was $38.41 on Amazon, Target, and Walmart. The lowest price I found for Part 2 is $39.96 on Amazon. I should also mention that there is a limited edition release for Part 2. This includes everything in the Part 2 standard release, as well as a 120-page art book and 8 metallic art cards. The lowest price I found for this was $71.98 on Crunchyroll. That's $32.02 more than the lowest price for the standard edition. So if the art book and art cards are worth that much to you, you may want to purchase this edition instead. Looking at this cover, I bet you're making all kinds of assumptions. This looks like trash. It's probably just a bunch of fan service. I bet the plot is paper thin. This is porn. Well, it's not porn. But yeah, those other assumptions are pretty accurate. Today we'll be taking a look at the 2025 Blu-ray release of The Amazing Nurse Nanako. This single disc contains 6 OVA episodes and features English and Japanese audio and English subtitles. Special features include Japanese TV spots, Nanako-tronic, HD gallery, sexual biography number 1, and a special trailer. Some of you may be concerned about the content of this show. As I mentioned earlier, this isn't pornographic. It does feature women in various states of undress, and there are 2 very brief scenes of nudity. This is a comedy, so all the fan service is supposed to be funny, but your mileage will vary. This is a Media Blasters production, but more importantly, I would like to thank some of the individuals who worked on this release. Fortunately, credits can be found after the end of the last episode. Let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case, featuring Nanako on the front and the title in the bottom left. The spine has Nanako in her power suit. the title, and the Media Blasters logo at the bottom. The back features some screenshots, a synopsis, a list of special features, and technical information, most of which I covered earlier. I'll show you the insert outside of the case, and the back of the insert is blank. Inside the case, we have one disc and no physical extras. If you want physical extras, you may be interested in the Media Blasters exclusive bundle. This version comes with a cardboard slipcase, a t-shirt, an enamel pin, a double-sided poster, and a face mask. This is exclusive to the Media Blasters website, and I don't know how long it will be sold. However, it's $99.99, so you may want to think about it before purchasing. While we're talking about different versions, I should mention that this show has been previously released on VHS and DVD by Pioneer. While I don't own the VHS tapes, I do own all 3 DVDs. Yes, for some reason they split 6 episodes onto 3 DVDs. They aren't long episodes, so this seems a bit pointless. Maybe it's because these were released in the year 2000, which was fairly early for DVDs. I do like the covers on the DVDs. They have much more personality than the Blu-ray. However, there's a typo on the spine of Volume 3. They add a random T to spiral, so it says spiral, and the special features listed on the back are completely wrong. I would make fun of Pioneer's anime localization department, but let's not speak ill of the dead. I'm sorry, Pioneer, I didn't mean it. Thanks for giving us Laserdiscs and Tenchi Muyo. Inside each DVD case, there's a sheet with the chapter listing. The disc labels are made of the most reflective material that Y2K Science could create. As for content, the Blu-ray has everything included on the DVDs and more. So the Blu-ray is a definitive edition. If you're upgrading, you can get rid of the DVDs if you want. Let's compare the video quality so you can determine if it's worth the upgrade. The DVD is about what you would expect from an old DVD. It doesn't look great, and the subs are a bit crunchy looking. They're yellow with a black outline, but pretty pixelated. The Blu-ray is a pretty big step up in my opinion. It doesn't look amazing, but does look noticeably better. The subtitles are still yellow with a black outline, but much better than the old DVD subs. They aren't quite as sharp as they should be on a modern release, but still it's better than the DVD. The subtitles feature a new translation, but they aren't perfect. On-screen text is only translated sometimes. This is immediately noticeable in episode 1. The pepper shaker is translated, but the bottle and the title card are not. This is a pretty big misstep, as the audience needs to know what's in the bottle. Let's see how the DVD handled this scene. As you can see, they just replaced the Japanese text with English. I don't really like this either, as I want to be able to see the original visuals, but at least they tried. The menu is pretty easy to navigate, music plays, and the current selection is marked in red. I had no issues with it at all. This Blu-ray offers plenty of special features. The clean ending is pretty standard, as are the Japanese TV spots. However, there are only spots for episodes 1 through 4. I don't know if there were TV spots for episodes 5 and 6, but they aren't included here or on the old DVDs. Nanako is just a compilation of fan service shots from the show. It's pretty pointless, as you can just watch the show instead. This is a leftover from the DVDs, and it's very much a relic of that era. The HD gallery is very misleading. This is a compilation of various production sketches and model sheets. However, only some of the images are in HD. Many of them are very noticeably not HD. The special trailer is my favorite special feature, as it's basically a mini episode. It features original animation, so it's definitely worth watching. Though I will note that's English only. If you want to watch in Japanese, there is a way, but it's strange. I'll get to it in a second. The last special feature is new to this Blu-ray. It was not included on the old DVDs. This is the Sexual Biography number 1. It's an odd title for an odd feature. Basically, this is a puppet show featuring characters that I have never seen or heard of before. They aren't from Amazing Nurse Nanako. And no, that one isn't Nanako, that's a girl cosplaying as her, apparently. This is a fake talk show, and they do kind of talk about Nanako, but it's really just trying to be funny. And I'm sorry, I just didn't find it funny at all. I don't understand what this is supposed to be or why it's here. But unfortunately, the Japanese version of the special trailer plays after the puppet show, so you have to go through the puppet show to watch it. I have no idea why it's set up like this. While there are several special features, I found them to be a pretty mixed bag. The Blu-ray is a definitive release, so that's good, but the quality isn't quite up to par with most other modern Blu-ray releases. If you want to purchase this release, the lowest price I found was $31.99 on Crunchyroll. And if you're interested in physical extras, Media Blasters has an exclusive version for $99.99 on their website. Today we'll be taking a look at the 2025 release of Mel Skin Panic Maddox 01. This Blu-ray features 2 English audio tracks, one from the US and one from the UK. Of course, it also has the original Japanese audio. It also has English and German subtitles and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. The main content is one 42-minute OVA. Special features include Weapons of Maddox documentary, 2 Japanese commentaries, 1 English commentary, an interview with the founder of Animego, an interview with the US ADR director, a DVD Easter egg, line art gallery, color art gallery, UK VHS trailer, and the US Blu-ray trailer. This is an Animego production, but more importantly, I would like to thank the individuals involved in this release. Fortunately, disc credits are available after the regular credits and are shown on screen now. Let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case featuring some amazing art and the title at the bottom. The spine features the same art at the top, the title, and the Animego logo at the bottom. Below the Animego logo, we can see AE8. Animego numbers their releases, so if you want to collect everything they sell, you can put them in release order on your shelf. The back has a screenshot and some character portraits, a synopsis, a list of special features, and some technical information at the bottom. I'll show you the insert outside the case. And the back of the insert features a scene from the OVA. Inside the case, we have 1 disc with no physical extras. However, if you order from Animego's online store, you will get an exclusive slipcover. It comes folded and inside a plastic sleeve. It looks very nice like this, almost like an oversized trading card. The front and the spine are the same as the front and spine on the case. But the back features a screenshot from the OVA. And don't worry, the barcode sticker at the bottom is on the plastic, not on the cardboard sleeve itself. Let's open this up and put it on the case. This OVA was previously released on Blu-ray in 2022. However, that version did not include the UK English dub, only the US dub. I don't own that version, so I can't offer a comparison. But I do own something better. A Mel Skin Panic Riding Bean double feature laserdisc. You may be asking, why are you showing off your Mel Skin Panic Riding Bean double feature laserdisc? To which I reply, when else would I show off my Mel Skin Panic Riding Bean double feature laserdisc? Mel Skin Panic has been released many times over the years on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and laserdisc. While this laserdisc is obviously outdated, I think it's still the most fun release. Riding Bean and Mel Skin Panic are both full of action, great animation, and overall weirdness. The back of the laserdisc isn't too exciting, but let's take a look inside. Now, if you've never seen a laserdisc before, this is what they look like. It looks like an oversized DVD, and yeah, it's a video disc, so there are some similarities, but there are also plenty of differences. But what I really want to show you is the sheet of liner notes. Plenty of fun information can be found here, like song lyrics, credits, and TV adjustment instructions. But more importantly, there are some notes on the OVA itself. It's not too long, so I'm going to read them out for you. In case you were wondering how all those helicopters and tanks suddenly appeared in downtown Tokyo, it happens that an important self-defense forces installation is located in Ichigaya, near Shinjuku. As of this writing, the Ministry of Defense is planning to move its offices there from their current location in Roppongi. Yokota Base, in the Okutama region west of central Tokyo, is the main US military installation in Japan. With the closure of Clark Air Force Base and Subic Bay Naval Air Station in the Philippines, it is also currently the largest active US military base in Eastern Asia. The fictitious West Shinjuku NSR building is based on a real-world counterpart, according to Aramaki Shinji, the NS building. also in West Shinjuku. They are apparently duplicates in all significant particulars. When Koji says he is feeding himself with someone else's hands, the original expression in Japanese is ninin bauri, or two-person hauri, coat. This is the name of an old game in which two people get in the same hauri and attempt to do things like feed each other or put makeup on each other's faces. In our original release of Maddox 01 3 years ago, we translated this line as, "This is a coat built for two." Moving back to the Blu-ray, the menu is simple, with the current selection being highlighted in a gunmetal texture. I had no issues navigating through it. The subtitles are yellow with a black outline. I noticed no typos or timing errors throughout my watch. German subtitles and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing are also available, but I can't comment on their quality. As stated earlier, this release includes a UK English dub and a US English dub. I'll play the same clip with each dub so you can get a sample of both.
Will you just tell me what she said?
She said, "I'll be waiting on the observation floor of the NSR building in West Shinjuku at 8 o'clock tonight." Say, Koji, you've been saying that you were breaking up with her, but maybe you're just overreacting?
Just tell me what she said in the telegram.
She said she'll be waiting for you in the observation lounge of the NSR building at 8 tonight. I know you told me it was all over between you and her, but you never know. Maybe when you see each other, you might, well, I don't know. Maybe you can patch things up.
I found the sound quality of the US dub to be fairly poor, so the addition of the UK dub is a big upgrade over the previous Blu-ray. On to the special features. The line art gallery, color art gallery, and the trailers are all great, but pretty self-explanatory. The two Japanese commentaries are done by the same three people. The director, Shinji Aramaki, mechanical designer Kimitoshi Yamane, and Satoshi Koizumi, head of marketing and PR. The English commentary has the voice director, sound mixer and engineer, and cast members. All the commentaries are great, offering insights into the production and anime dubbing from decades ago. The interviews with Robert Woodhead, founder of Animego, and Eric Tomosunas, US ADR director, are both great. They offer insights into the history of Animego and dubbing, but you also get to see the personalities of the people behind the production. The Weapons of Maddox documentary was made for all the military otaku out there. If you like just watching footage of military vehicles shooting huge guns, then you should probably watch this. And finally, the mysterious DVD Easter egg. This is just a video of Animego staff having a good time. It's very weird and very dated, but it can still provide some laughs. Overall, this is a great release. The OVA looks amazing, the UK dub is a game changer, and there are so many great special features to explore. If you want to purchase this release, the lowest price I found was $10.99 on Amazon and Walmart. However, if you buy it for $17.99 from Animego, you will also get the exclusive slipcover. So I'm going to review both sets of Frieren Season 1 in this video. Let's get into it. These two releases are both Blu-ray DVD combo packs featuring audio in English and Japanese and subtitles in English. Part 1 has episodes 1 through 16 and Part 2 has episodes 17 through 28. So the episodes were not evenly split between the two releases. Part 1 has 16 episodes while Part 2 has 12. Part 1 special features included clean opening and ending, special broadcast ending, web previews, and promo videos. Part 2 special features included clean opening and ending, special video, Frieren Journey's Memory, mini anime episodes, web previews, and promo videos. This is a Crunchyroll production, but more importantly, I would like to thank the individuals involved in this release. Fortunately, disc credits are included on each release and are on screen now. Let's take a look at the packaging. These are standard Blu-ray cases with outer cardboard sleeves. They kept the packaging design very consistent between the two releases. The front features a piece of art with the logo at the top. The bottom right corner indicates Part 1 and Part 2. Both have foil printing, giving them a premium feel. The spines are almost identical, featuring the title, followed by Part 1 or Part 2, and the Crunchyroll logo at the bottom. The back has a synopsis, screenshots, a list of special features, and technical information at the bottom. Again, the layout is consistent between the two releases, just with different content. Underneath the sleeves, Both releases have different art on the inserts. The spines are identical to the sleeve spines, and the backs are identical to the sleeve backs. I'll show you the inserts outside of the case, and the backs of the inserts feature some landscape art. Opening up the cases, we'll find art cards inside both of them. Part 1 came with 4 art cards, and they were shrink-wrapped. Part 2 came with 3 art cards held together by a paper band. Part 1 also came with a small advertisement for Part 2. It claims that Part 2 would be released soon. Part 1 came out in December of 2024, and Part 2 came out in September of 2025. I guess the word soon is open to interpretation. Part 1 comes with 2 Blu-rays and 3 DVDs, while Part 2 comes with 2 Blu-rays and 2 DVDs. Blu-ray 1 has episodes 1 through 8, and Blu-ray 2 has episodes 9 through 16. DVD 1 has episodes 1 through 6, DVD 2 has episodes 7 through 12, and DVD 3 has episodes 13 through 16. In Part 2, Blu-ray 3 has episodes 17 through 22, and Blu-ray 4 has episodes 23 through 28. DVD 4 has episodes 17 through 22, and DVD 5 has episodes 23 through 28. Every disc from both sets also contains special features. Since we have Blu-rays and DVDs here, I'll show you footage from both so you can see the difference in quality for yourself. The Blu-ray subtitles are white with a black outline, typical for Crunchyroll releases. Throughout my watch, I noticed no typos or timing errors. The DVD subs are also white with a black outline, but are more pixelated, as you would expect from DVD subtitles. On the Blu-ray menus, the currently selected option is highlighted in a cyan color. This cyan doesn't really stand out too much, making it difficult to see at times. Having average eyesight, I was able to find it if I focused, but I imagine it would be very difficult for someone with a visual impairment. The DVDs use a gold color for the currently selected option, which is much easier to see. As for special features, the clean openings and endings, promo videos, and web previews are all self-explanatory and fairly standard. I'm glad they're included, but there isn't much to say about them. Part 1 includes a special broadcast ending. For those of you who may not know what the special broadcast was, the first 4 episodes all premiered back-to-back in a 2-hour special with a different ending song. It's very nice and I love the visuals. I highly recommend watching it. Part 2 has a special video called Frieren Journey's Memory. This is basically another promo video made to advertise the second half of the show. It mostly uses clips from the first half of the show, but it also has a bit from the second half. Part 2 also includes a mini anime, featuring our beloved cast in chibi form. These are very short and are just some quick gags. Personally, the jokes didn't land for me, but maybe I'm just a grouchy old man. The animation is also very limited, but that's pretty common for mini anime productions. Overall, these are competent releases. They serve their purpose well, but they don't really go further than that. The special features are solid, but not amazing. Part 2 took a very long time to release, but at least it got here before Season 2 started airing. If you'd like to purchase these 2 releases, the lowest price I found was $39.96 for each from Amazon and Walmart. Target also has Part 1 for that price, but as of the writing of this video, they still don't have Part 2 in stock. Before I end this review, I should mention that a limited edition for Part 2 is scheduled to release on October 20th. This version includes everything in the standard release, plus a suitcase gift box, an art book, an acrylic standee, a flower luggage tag, 7 Kiss Cut sticker sheets, and 7 shikishis. The lowest pre-order price I found was $174.99 from Amazon. That's a difference of about $135, so you can decide if those extras I just listed are worth that much to you. Today we'll be taking a look at the 2025 Blu-ray releases of Evangelion 1.11 and Evangelion 2.22. Each Blu-ray contains one film with audio in English and Japanese. Both include subtitles in English, English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, and Spanish. Special features for Evangelion 1.11 include Rebuild of Evangelion 1.01, Angel of Doom promotional video, teasers, trailers, and TV spots. Special features for Evangelion 2.22 include Rebuild of Evangelion 2.02, omitted scenes, a remix scene, promotional reel, teasers, trailers, and TV spots. These are G-Kids Blu-rays, but more importantly, I would like to thank the individuals involved in their release. However, there are no disc creds to be found anywhere, so I can't actually name anyone involved. But regardless, thank you to everyone who worked on these Blu-rays. Let's take a look at the packaging. These are standard Blu-ray cases in cardboard slipcases. Evangelion 1.11 is a very sparkly silver, and 2.22 is orange. Both have the title on the front and on the spine. The backs are blank. Taking them out of their slipcases, we'll find a slip of paper inside each slipcase. These were originally on the back of the slipcases underneath the plastic wrap. They fit nicely inside the slipcase, so you can store them there after opening. Each slip has the UPC barcode, screenshots and a synopsis, a list of special features, and technical information, most of which I covered earlier. The front of the inserts feature the title, with 1.11 on a red background and 2.22 on a black background. The spines have the title and the G-Kids logo at the top. The backs are blank. Looking inside the cases, we will find a disc and a booklet in each one. Each booklet contains art, statements from the creators, information on characters and concepts, information on the special features, and chapter listings. Now would be a good time to mention that these films have been released before by Funimation. Evangelion 1.11 was released on Blu-ray and DVD in 2010, and Evangelion 2.22 was released on Blu-ray and DVD in 2011. I don't own the DVDs, but I do have the Funimation Blu-rays. Thanks to a buddy of mine, I can show off the two different versions of the 1.11 Funimation Blu-ray. The discs in these two are exactly the same, but the packaging is different. This copy is a digipack inside a slipcase, while this one is a standard Blu-ray case in a cardboard sleeve. I believe the digipack version was the initial release, while the standard Blu-ray case came later. However, I'm not entirely sure. It's pretty hard to find documentation of this online. It doesn't help that the UPCs are exactly the same, so most websites consider these to be identical. I won't go over every detail here, but I do want to point out a few things. One, on the bottom of the spine of both of these, there's a DVD symbol, but both of these are single-disc Blu-rays. I have no idea why this symbol is here. Maybe at one point they were going to be Blu-ray DVD combo packs, but then they decided to remove the DVDs but neglected to take the symbol off the spine? But that's just a guess, I have no evidence. I also want to show you the booklets included inside. These booklets are largely the same as the booklet included in the new version, but the new version does have a bit more content. Also, the new version has the contents in a different order, and it has been retranslated, so the wording is different. You'll notice that the booklet that came with the Digipack version is bigger, while the booklet that came with the standard Blu-ray case is the same size as the new booklet. Now we can take a look at the Funimation 2.22 Blu-ray. This is a standard Blu-ray case, and my copy does not have a cardboard sleeve. There are copies with sleeves out there, but they are very rare. I believe that the initial release had the sleeve, but subsequent printings did not include it. I do want to mention that the booklet included here has largely the same content as the new G-Kids booklet, but the new one does have a little bit more content. And again, the content has been rearranged and retranslated. Moving on to the disc content, the menus are straightforward and easy to navigate. Music from the films plays with a barrage of clips. These menus are actually very similar to the Funimation menus. It looks like G-Kids copied their homework. Now let's talk subtitles. The subs are white with a very thin black outline. I had no issues reading them, and I noticed no typos or timing errors in either film. But I do want to talk about one very specific issue. In this scene, there is a jar on the table, with a label that says something in Japanese. Understanding what this label says is actually very important to the joke here, but as you can see, the label isn't translated. Okay, let's try the Funimation release. Nope, not translated. Okay, how about we switch over to the TV series and see if G-Kids translated it for their Blu-ray release. Still nothing. Alright, we'll go back to the DVD release of the TV series by ADV Films. Ah, there we go. Do you get the joke? Hope you do, because I'm not explaining it. But yeah, for some reason, it has been over 2 decades since this label was translated in any North American Evangelion releases. It's really weird, considering that it actually affects the scene. Now that we've talked subs, let's move on to dubs. These films have 2 different English dubs. The Funimation releases have one dub, and the G-Kids releases have a different dub. So to be clear, there is no release that contains both dubs. Some voice actors reprise their roles and are in both dubs, and some did not, so they were replaced. The voice actors for Shinji, Asuka, Misato, and Gendo all returned for the new dub, while everyone else was recast. I'll give you a sample of both dubs.
You won't regret it. Women love men who know how to cook.
Listen and learn.
No way I'm learning how to cook. Real men avoid kitchens.
What millennium are you from, idiot Toji?
What did you say? Real men gotta have principles.
You're even dumber than you look.
What did you say?
Calm down and eat, please. Sorry, Ayanami. You don't like what I made?
It's not that. It's just that I don't eat meat.
Well, I'll tell you, ladies love a man knows his way around the kitchen.
Do you hear that?
Say what? You won't find me doing it. It's no job for a man.
More like a caveman, idiot.
What'd you call me? There's nothing wrong with having principles.
Unless they're stupid principles.
Come on, guys, just forget about it. Eat up. Oh, sorry, Ray. Did you not like the food?
Well, I just don't eat meat.
Speaking of dubs, it's worth noting that the old Funimation release of Evangelion 2.22 actually has one special feature not found in the new G-Kids release. The Funimation release includes an English dubcast commentary. Obviously, it would be weird to include this in the G-Kids release due to it being a different dubcast, so I understand why it was taken out. But if you like cast commentaries, this is something to keep in mind. Moving on to the rest of the special features, Evangelion 1.11 has Rebuild of Evangelion 1.01, Angel of Doom promotional music video, teasers, trailers, and TV spots. So what is Rebuild of Evangelion 1.01? Well, it's basically a bunch of production footage from the film, which gives you a sense of how it was animated. It's pretty cool to see, and I recommend checking it out. There are actually 2 versions included, with the difference being the music that accompanies the footage. The Angel of Doom promotional music video is, as the name implies, a music video, featuring a choral track from the movie. Trailers, teasers, and TV spots are all pretty standard, but it's really impressive just how many TV spots are included here. Many of these are just variants of each other, but from a preservation standpoint, this is really nice to see. As for Evangelion 2.22, we have Rebuild of Evangelion 2.02, omitted scenes, a remix scene, a promotional reel, teasers, trailers, and TV spots. Rebuild of Evangelion 2.02 is the same concept as Rebuild of Evangelion 1.01, it's a showcase of production footage. But while there were 2 versions of 1.01 to choose from, there's only one version of 2.02. The omitted scenes are my favorite special feature in these 2 Blu-rays. While they aren't actually animated, they are fully voiced, and the animatics are really cool. The scenes are short, but I had a ton of fun watching them. The remix scene is actually the finale of the movie. I won't show it here because that would spoil the movie, but I can explain the remix without spoilers. The original version of the scene has only music and character voices with no sound effects at all. The remix scene adds sound effects. So basically, it's just a different way that the scene could have been presented. The promotional reel just shows a bunch of short clips from the movie with the movie logo in the middle of the screen. It's neat, but really it's just another trailer. So with all of that being said, my final verdict is that these are not an upgrade over the Funimation releases, but they aren't a downgrade either. They're a side grade, but they are different enough to be distinct from the Funimation releases. So if you're a completionist who needs everything Evangelion, I do think that this is worth your time. But if not, your Funimation copies are perfectly fine. And for those of you who don't already own these films, these new releases are absolutely worth buying. If you want to purchase these releases, the lowest price I found for Evangelion 1.11 was $24.49 on Amazon and Target. The lowest price I found for Evangelion 2.22 was $23.99 on Amazon. Today we'll be taking a look at the 2025 Blu-ray release of Golden Boy. This Blu-ray features 6 OVAs on one disc. It includes audio in English and Japanese. Subtitle options include English and English songs and signs. Special features include original US trailers, key art gallery, model sheets gallery, and a commentary with Doug Smith, the English voice of Kintaro. This is a Discotek production, but more importantly, I would like to thank the individuals involved in its release. Fortunately, disc credits are included after the credits of the final episode and are shown on screen now. Let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case with an outer cardboard sleeve. The front features some art and the logo on the left. The spine has some chibi art at the top, the logo, and the Eastern Star and Discotek logos at the bottom. There are cutouts at the top and bottom of the spine, which is standard for Discotek releases. The back has a synopsis, some screenshots and character art, and some technical information at the bottom. Taking off the outer sleeve, we can see that the front of the insert features alternate art. I'm censoring this image because while this woman is fully clothed, the level of anatomical detail is something only possible in anime. The spine is identical to the sleeve spine, and the back is identical to the sleeve back. I'll show you the insert outside of the case. And the reverse side of the insert is blank. Inside the case, we will find the Blu-ray and no physical extras. This OVA series has been released on DVD multiple times by ADV Films, Anime Works, and Discotek. I don't own any of the DVD releases, so I can't offer a comparison. However, this is the first time Golden Boy has been released on Blu-ray. So you may be wondering, will this look absolutely amazing on Blu-ray? Well, I hate to break it to you, but this is an upscale from some less than stellar masters. This is outside of Discotek's control, they did what they could. But unfortunately, it just doesn't look great. In particular, I want to point out the rippling effect that is present throughout the series. You can really notice it in the vertical panning shots, and I found it to be very distracting. I don't have the technical knowledge to understand why this is here, but it's unfortunate. But even if the Blu-ray doesn't look great, Blu-ray subtitles are better than DVD subtitles. These subtitles are yellow with a black outline. Throughout my watch, I noticed no typos or timing errors. The dub was made by ADV in 1996 and stars Doug Smith as Kintaro. This brings us to the highlight of this Blu-ray release, which is the Episode 1 commentary by Doug Smith himself. This was a lot of fun to listen to, and you will hear a ton of anecdotes relating to voice acting in that era. Other special features include US trailers, a key art gallery, and a model sheet gallery. The US trailers are a pretty standard inclusion, but it's nice to have them. The 2 art galleries are very nice to have, and fans of the series should check them out. Overall, this is a perfectly acceptable Blu-ray release, but it's not going to blow you away. If you don't already own this show, I recommend picking up the Blu-ray, but if you already own the DVD, you may want to think about it before upgrading. If you want to purchase this Blu-ray, the lowest price I found was $21.99 on Diabolic DVD. As a side note, the DVD copies of this show have been very expensive on the secondhand market, so this is a steal in comparison. I'm sure those DVDs are currently losing value now that the Blu-ray is out, but $21.99 is the lowest price I've seen in years. This movie has truly gorgeous backgrounds. That alone is reason enough to watch it. I want to give a special thanks to my friend. This is his favorite movie and everything in this video is from his collection. Today we'll be talking about the 2025 Blu-ray release of Lupin III: The Castle of Cagliostro. This is a steelbook featuring one 100-minute film. It has multiple English dubs, which we'll get to later, and Japanese audio. It has multiple English subtitle tracks, and special features include translation notes, trailers, interviews, a commentary, an introduction, storyboards, deleted scene storyboards, art galleries, a clean opening, the international opening, and a collection of US openings and endings. This is a Discotek release, but more importantly, I would like to thank the individuals involved in its release. Fortunately, disc credits are included after the film credits and are shown on screen now. Let's take a look at the packaging. This is a steelbook case with a clear plastic sleeve. The sleeve on this copy is very snug, but that may be because it's slightly warped. Hopefully you can see how rippled the back of the sleeve is. The front of the sleeve has the title in the bottom right and the Blu-ray symbol at the top. The spine has the title and the Discotheque and Eastern Star logos at the bottom. The back of the sleeve makes it a point to tell you that this film was directed by Hayao Miyazaki. It also features screenshots, a synopsis, a list of special features, and some technical information at the bottom. There's also a note that this is the second theatrical Lupin film from 1979. The first Lupin film was Mystery of Mamo from 1978. The front of the Steelbook features some amazing art, and the spine has the title. The back has a faint image of the Cagliostro seal. Inside the Steelbook, we'll find the disc and no physical extras. The inside of the case has some art of Lupin and Jigen. Being a very popular film that is now over 45 years old, Cagliostro has enjoyed several releases over the years. I have several here to show you, so strap in. This is the 1992 VHS release from Streamline Pictures, and it features the first English dub, with Lupin being named The Wolf. You'll notice that the name Lupin isn't on the packaging at all. This particular copy of the film is special as it's a screener copy. VHS screeners were advanced copies for marketing and promotional purposes. They weren't meant for public sale, so they can be pretty rare. Streamline released the film on VHS again in 1993. This release was an extended play VHS. For the sake of brevity, this just means that it had inferior video and sound quality. So think of it as a budget release. It was even priced lower than the initial release. Unfortunately, we never got a Laserdisc release in North America. Supposedly, Image Entertainment was going to release it on Laserdisc, but it was cancelled. However, in 1997, a Japanese Laserdisc release included the English dub from Streamline Pictures. This makes it the only way to watch the film in English on Laserdisc. In 2000, Manga Video released the film on VHS and on DVD. The manga video release included a new English dub that kept Lupin's name intact. In true manga video fashion, the cover is a blurry screenshot from the film. The DVD does not feature anamorphic widescreen, which is understandable in the year 2000. However, it also has no special features. In 2006, Manga Video would redeem themselves with a special edition DVD, this time with anamorphic widescreen, French and Spanish dubs, and a decent amount of special features. They include enough special features that they put them on the other side of the DVD, meaning you need to flip it in order to access them. In 2015, Discotheque released the film on DVD and Blu-ray, adding more special features on top of the ones included in the manga video release. It also included both the 1992 and 2000 English dub, as well as a family-friendly version of the 2000 dub. However, it's worth noting that this release does not include the French and Spanish dubs from the manga video special edition. If you want those dubs, they are exclusive to that DVD. Later in 2015, Disney released a collection of Miyazaki movies released as an Amazon exclusive Blu-ray set. Cagliostro is included, and it seems to be a unique Blu-ray with fewer special features than the Discotheque release. In 2021, Discotheque released the film in 4K UHD with HDR. This release added more special features, and it is the release with the best video quality. So why did Discotheque release this new Blu-ray if they already released a 4K UHD? Well, they decided to make a brand new English dub featuring the voices of the modern English Lupin cast, which is great, but why a Blu-ray? I'm going to guess that they didn't want two 4K UHD versions for sale competing with each other, and by releasing it on Blu-ray, people who don't collect 4K films can have a new release since the last Blu-ray came out over a decade ago. So after going through all these releases, let's compare the video quality. Obviously, the VHS and DVD releases will leave something to be desired, but how does the 4K UHD compare to the two Blu-ray releases? I will note that I don't have the equipment to capture 4K video, so the 4K UHD sample has been brought down to 1080p, so you probably won't see much of a difference between it and the Blu-ray sample. I did watch the 4K UHD disc on a 55-inch 4K TV, and I felt that the difference was fairly minor. If you own a larger 4K TV, the upgrade from Blu-ray may make more of a difference. Now let's compare dubs. Instead of listing all the actors for each character, here's a handy chart from the dubbing wiki. I'm showing you the lead roles, but if you really want to know who voiced the waitress in the 1992 Streamline dub, you can go to the dubbing wiki and find out for yourself. And I know that's very hard to keep track of which releases have which audio options, so here's a table I made after spending 30 hours in Excel. Now let's listen to a sample of each English dub.
Jiggin.
I know. Okay, you ready?
Hey.
What, am I burning? Christ, Lupin, your spare's bolder than the flat.
Hey.
What, am I burning? That sucks, Lupin. Your spare's bolder than the flat.
Hey.
And the spare's totally bald, of course.
Moving on to the subs, the subtitles are yellow with a black outline. Throughout my watch, I noticed no typos or timing errors. But that's not all. It also has English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing and the 1980 theatrical subtitles. These are large white subs with a black outline. They're transcribed from the subtitles used in the original 1980 American theatrical release of the film. The menu plays the opening theme, with Lupin looking at the castle in the distance. This menu is very easy to navigate, with the main menu selection highlighted in red and the sub-menu selections highlighted in yellow with a bullet icon next to it. Looking at the special features, this disc is absolutely packed. It has a commentary by Reed Nelson, a Lupin III enthusiast and researcher. Reed Nelson also wrote some essays included in the special features, those being A Brief History of the Film, Cagliostro's American Adventure, and the translation notes alongside Shoko Ono, who translated the subtitle track. There's also an introduction to the film by David Hayter, the voice of Lupin in the 2000 manga video dub. There's also an interview with him, as well as interviews with Bob Bergen, Lupin from the 1992 Streamline dub, Yasuo Otsuka, the animation director, Kazuhide Tomonaga, the key animator, and Monkey Punch, the original creator of Lupin. The disc has multiple art galleries, including storyboards for the entire film, unused storyboards for the opening, model sheets, image boards, and promotional art. There are several openings and endings present, including a clean opening, the international opening, and a collection of openings and endings from US releases. And finally, there's a collection of trailers, including a modern English trailer and 2 Japanese trailers with both modern and vintage subtitles. Now that we've gone over everything on the disc, I think it's obvious that this is an amazing release, with all kinds of language options, special features, and historical reverence. But the Discotek 4K UHD is also impressive and has higher video quality. Really, the main thing this new Blu-ray has going for it is the new English dub. So should you buy the 4K UHD or the new Blu-ray? If you care about the new dub, I suggest buying the new Blu-ray. The 4K video quality is better, but I don't think it's a huge difference. So I suggest the 4K only for people who simply do not care about the new dub. But of course, you can't go wrong with either one of them. They're both fantastic. Superfans may want to buy both versions. If you want to purchase this new Blu-ray Steelbook, it's being sold exclusively on Crunchyroll's website for $49.95. Today we'll be going over the 2025 Blu-ray release of Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Hashira Training Arc. This is a 3-disc Blu-ray set with 8 episodes. It should be noted that the 1st, 7th, and 8th episodes are each longer than a standard episode, so the runtime is about equivalent to 10 standard episodes. English and Japanese audio options are included, as well as English subtitles, and there are no special features at all. This is a release from Crunchyroll and Aniplex, but more importantly, I would like to thank the individuals involved in this release. Disc credits are included, but I can tell that there are some people missing. Regardless, thank you to everyone involved. Let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case with an outer cardboard sleeve. The front features some art and the title towards the bottom. The spine features the title, the name of the arc, and a note saying that it contains episodes 1 through 8. At the bottom are the Crunchyroll and Aniplex logos. The back has the title, another note about the episodes, a cutout for the UPC barcode, a synopsis, some art of Tanjiro, and some technical information at the bottom. If you're collecting Demon Slayer releases, this is what they will look like when placed together on your shelf. They've been maintaining a uniform design except for the Mugen Train movie, which is white instead of black. Maybe the Infinity Castle movies will also be white when those eventually come out on Blu-ray. Taking off the cardboard sleeve, we can see that the front of the insert is the same as the front of the sleeve. The spine and the back are also the same as the sleeve. I'll show you the insert outside the case. And the back of the insert is a reversible cover. This alternate cover features the same art but no logo. It has an episode listing instead of the information featured on the default side of the insert. Inside the case, we will find 3 discs and no physical extras. Disc 1 has episodes 1 through 3, Disc 2 has episodes 4 through 6, and Disc 3 has episodes 7 and 8. This reminds me of back in the day when you would get 2 episodes on a single VHS tape. Remember those days? Oh wait, sorry. Nursing home staff, can you please turn up the volume so the residents can hear me? Thank you. Remember when we only got 2 episodes of anime on a single VHS tape? Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have yelled. I'm feeling lightheaded. Where's my blood pressure medicine? Sorry about that. Moving along, the subtitles are white with a black outline, and if you're familiar with Aniplex subs, you know what to expect here. Throughout my watch, I noticed no typos or timing errors. The dub is produced by Bang Zoom Entertainment, who has been handling the Demon Slayer dub since the beginning. To my knowledge, there have been no changes in voice actors. The menu plays music from the show, with clips playing on screen. The current selection is highlighted in orange, and I had no issues navigating the menu. Now I want to point out something in the technical information on the backside of the case. There's a note saying, the content and features for this release have been licensed solely for sale and viewing in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Discs will not play back anywhere else. So there's a lot to unpack here. For those unaware, Blu-rays have region locking, meaning that they can only be used in players that match their region. The United States, Canada, and Mexico are all in Region A. And this is a Region A Blu-ray, so that makes sense. But there are other countries in Region A besides those 3. All of Central and South America and many Asian countries are also in Region A, so if it's a Region A disc, it should work in all those countries too. Not so fast. Blu-rays can also have country codes, which further region lock them to specific countries. In my experience, this isn't very common, but this Blu-ray has it. I usually use my computer's Blu-ray drive to capture footage for my videos. When I popped in this disc, I got this message, basically confirming what was stated on the packaging. Again, I use this drive for other Region A Blu-rays all the time, and I didn't change any settings. Maybe if I did mess with my settings, I could get this disc to play, but I can just use my PlayStation instead, so I'm not going to bother. So to sum it up, this release can only be played with US, Canadian, or Mexican Blu-ray players. A region-free player might be able to handle it, but I can't confirm this, so no promises. And yes, this has been the case for all the other Demon Slayer releases as well. I'm fairly certain that this is because of Aniplex's business practices. Aniplex of America typically prices their Blu-ray sets at very high prices, which matches how Blu-rays are often priced in Japan. This prevents Japanese consumers from importing cheaper American Blu-rays for lower prices than the Japanese release. But for Demon Slayer, Aniplex is teaming up with Crunchyroll to release less expensive Blu-ray sets. The 2 companies are both owned by Sony, so they play nice with each other. So this country code region lock is an extra measure taken to prevent Japanese consumers from importing the cheap American release. Speaking of Aniplex and expensive Blu-rays, there is a limited edition version of the Hashira training arc, which is the norm for Demon Slayer. Each Blu-ray set has been released as both a standard and limited edition, with the limited edition usually coming out first. The Hashira training arc limited edition Blu-ray came out in April of 2025, about 8 months before the standard edition. The limited edition includes everything in the standard edition, as well as soundtracks, booklets, a clean opening and ending, commercials, trailers, and world premiere screening highlights. This all comes in a fancy slipcase box and is priced at $111.98. As mentioned earlier, the standard release has no special features at all. Of course, it makes sense that the soundtracks and booklets wouldn't be included. Those are extras that make the limited edition special. But the limited edition also includes on-disc extras like the clean opening and ending, the trailers, and the world premiere highlights. So did the limited edition come with an extra disc? Nope, they simply took the special features off the discs when they made the standard version. This is truly mind-boggling. It would have been easier for them to leave the extras on the discs and just print the exact same discs for both versions. Instead, they chose to do things the hard way and print new discs that are different from the discs that they already had. Did they really think that the on-disc extras would entice people to spring for the limited edition? It's literally double the price of the standard edition. Now, for fans who bought the limited edition, more power to them, but I doubt they bought it for the on-disc extras. They bought it because they loved the show and they could afford it. And they also were the first ones to own it on Blu-ray. The soundtracks and booklets are cool, and they may have enticed some fans. But the idea that fans wouldn't have bought the limited edition if the standard edition also came with on-disc extras is ridiculous. There is no way that including on-disc extras on the standard release would have affected sales of the limited edition. I want those on-disc extras, but they're not enough to make me buy the limited edition. And I'm pretty confident that I care more about special features than the average consumer. The only thing this accomplished was making the standard release worse. But this is nothing new, they've done this for literally every Demon Slayer Blu-ray so far. So with all that said, I'm not very satisfied with this release. As far as just watching the show, it does the job, but it has nothing else to offer. The fact that we're missing out on special features simply due to corporate meddling is annoying, and knowing that they actually went out of their way to remove special features is just frustrating. But if you do want to purchase this release, the lowest price I found was $39.96 at Amazon and Walmart, and $39.99 at Target. If you want the limited edition, it's a Crunchyroll exclusive priced at $111.98. That's about $72 more than the lowest price of the standard edition. Today we'll be taking a look at the 2025 Blu-ray release of Azumanga Daioh. This 3-disc set has English and Japanese audio and subtitles in English. The main content is 26 episodes, and special features include a clean opening and ending and production sketches. This is a Sentai Filmworks Blu-ray, but more importantly, I want to thank the individuals involved in its release. Fortunately, disc credits can be found on disc 3 alongside the special features. The credits are shown on screen now. Let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case, and on the front we can see the title and the Sentai logo in the bottom left corner. A note that this is the complete collection is in the bottom right, but it's yellow text on a yellow background, so you can barely see it. The spine features the title and the Sentai logo at the bottom. The back has a blurb stating, "School days and a days, having fun in so many ways." Good news everyone, Dr. Seuss isn't dead, he just works for Sentai now. We can also see several screenshots, a synopsis, a list of special features, and some technical information at the bottom. I'll show you the insert outside of the case, and the back of the insert is blank. Inside the case we'll find 3 discs and no physical extras. Disc 1 has episodes 1 through 9, Disc 2 has episodes 10 through 18, and Disc 3 has episodes 19 through 26, as well as the special features. While this is the first North American release of Azumanga Daioh on Blu-ray, it has been released on DVD several times. The last time it was released was in 2016 by Sentai Filmworks. This was part of their Sentai Selects line, which ended when they stopped making DVDs. This is a 5-disc set in a standard DVD case, and it features a reversible cover. It's very similar to the new Blu-ray release with the same special features. However, this one also includes trailers for other Sentai products. Before Sentai acquired the license for Azumanga Daioh, ADV Films released the series on DVD several times. It was first released as 6 volumes in 2004. There was also an option to buy Volume 1 with a slipcase that had room for the other volumes. In 2005, they released the show as a 5-disc set with thin pack cases in a slipcase. In 2008, they did another thin pack in a slipcase release, and in 2009, they released the show in a standard DVD case, but they reverted back to 6 discs instead of 5. In addition to the regular DVDs, 2 episodes were released on 2 mini DVDs. This was a short-lived experiment by ADV Films where they released 1 episode on each mini DVD. Only 2 episodes of Azumanga Daioh were released this way. My friend let me borrow his copy of the 2005 release. The slipcase has a ton of character, and each thin pack features a different character on the cover. This release is very bare bones, with the only special feature being trailers for other ADV products. But again, the packaging is really cool. So what about the other DVD releases from ADV Films? What do they have to offer? Well, the 2004 volumes and the 2009 release have a very special feature. Azumanga Daioh, the very short movie, is a 6-minute short that was released in 2001, a year before the TV series. This short has different character designs, going for a more detailed look. It's included in the 6th volume of the 2004 release and the 2009 complete series set. Unfortunately, it's not included in the new Blu-ray release. Apparently, Sentai Filmworks doesn't have the rights to the short. Maybe circumstances have changed and the rights aren't available, or maybe it would have added a significant cost. So I don't blame Sentai for not including it, but it's still disappointing. The menus on the Blu-rays play the opening theme, and the current selection is highlighted in red. I found this very easy to navigate and had no trouble at all. But that doesn't mean the menus are perfect. On Disc 2, Episode 18 is titled Kiyomi's Ordeals. This is a typo. The character's name is Koyomi, though most characters just call her Yomi. Of course, a typo on the menu doesn't really hinder the viewing experience, but it is sloppy. And that's indicative of the release as a whole. Sloppy. Let's compare the video quality of the Blu-ray against the Sentai DVD release and the ADV DVD release. As expected, the DVDs don't hold up to modern standards, but the Blu-ray doesn't look much better. I can tell that it is better, but it's not the leap I was hoping for. Maybe this is the best that Azumanga Daioh can look. I understand that not every show can get an amazing remaster. However, when Sentai announced that they were releasing this on Blu-ray and not an SD Blu-ray, I became hopeful. With this level of quality, I do wonder if an SD Blu-ray would have been the better way to release this show. I don't think the video quality would have suffered that much because it's already not up to par. And either way, we would get nice Blu-ray subtitles. And speaking of subtitles, the subtitles are yellow with a black outline, which is standard for Sentai releases. Throughout my watch, I noticed no typos or timing errors. But just like the menu, proper function doesn't mean a perfect product. Comparing these subs to the Sentai and ADV subtitles, it's obvious that nothing has changed in over 2 decades. This is the exact same translation and the exact same script. This means that the subtitle track uses translation philosophy that was popular 20 years ago. I will say this right now, I don't know enough Japanese to critique the accuracy of translations, and I have no intention to do so. So I'm not saying that the translation choices seen here are wrong, it's just that they reflect a bygone era. For example, yukata is translated as summer kimono. Kotatsu is translated as heated table. And yakiniku is translated as steak. Again, I don't think these are incorrect, they get the idea across, but a more modern translation would most likely leave these terms untranslated. I think that some people will hate this while others won't care at all, but I do think it's disappointing that Sentai hasn't bothered to give these subtitles a refresh after 2 decades. As for the English dub, this dub was made by ADV Films back in 2004. The dub is also showing its age, but of course redubbing a show is a very tall order, and this dub still has its charms. Personally, I have a soft spot for Osaka's southern accent.
Osaka, what are you doing? You know those tiny bubbles inside your eyes you sometimes catch? Yeah, I'm tracking them down as we speak. I see. Good luck with that. Thank you.
Moving on to the special features, as stated earlier, this release does not have the very short movie, but it does have a clean opening and ending and production sketches. First, let's look at those production sketches. Here we have a gallery of sketches, and it's really cool that you get to see notes about how the characters are supposed to be drawn. But does something seem off to you? For some reason, I feel like I'm watching Hidamari's sketch, not Azumanga Daioh. Why does everything look so wide? Oh, this feature is included on the Sentai DVD, let's look at that release. Everything is normal here. Okay, enough fooling around. Yes, on the Blu-ray release, Sentai stretched the production sketches gallery to fit a 16:9 aspect ratio instead of leaving it in the intended 4:3 aspect ratio. Everything is stretched really wide, so it's a bit hard to appreciate the art. There is a fix for this. In your TV or player settings, you can force the video into a particular aspect ratio. I'll show you how to do it in VLC Player. Just go to Video, Aspect Ratio, and select 4:3. For other players or TVs, you'll have to figure it out for yourself, but it's usually an option. However, it's really stupid that we have to do this at all. There's no excuse, Sentai was just being sloppy. Alright, let's move on to the clean opening and ending. There's no way they can mess this up. I mean, it's a special feature included on almost every single anime release. You can do this, Sentai, I believe in you. Are you kidding me? Why does this look like garbage? The opening looked fine when I was watching the show. Okay, comparison time. Yep, the clean opening is clearly worse than the normal opening. Did they just take the clean opening from the DVD and slap it on the Blu-ray? Yep, that's exactly what they did. Okay, it's clear at this point that this release is terrible. Yes, it's technically the best way to watch the show now. It has slightly better video quality than the DVD releases. But this is one of the best shows in Sentai's catalog, and they can't be bothered to treat it with an ounce of respect. Come on, Sentai. Get it together. If you do want to purchase this release, the lowest price I found was $39.99 at Amazon, Target, and Walmart. Today we're taking a look at the 2025 release of Konosuba Season 3. This is a Blu-ray DVD combo pack with 2 Blu-rays and 2 DVDs. It includes audio in English and Japanese and subtitles in English. The main content is 11 episodes and 2 OVAs. The OVAs are the length of a standard episode, so you could think of this as a 13-episode set. Special features include episode previews, commercials, promo videos, a retrospective video, a clean opening and ending, and 3 art cards. This is a Crunchyroll product, but more importantly, I would like to thank the individuals involved in making this release. Fortunately, credits can be found on the menu, and subtitle credits can be found during the ending of each episode. Let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case with an outer cardboard sleeve. The front has the title towards the bottom and a Season 3 indicator in the upper right. The spine has the title, the Season 3 indicator, and the Crunchyroll logo at the bottom. The back has a hole for the UPC barcode, some character art, a synopsis, a list of special features, some screenshots, and some technical information at the bottom. Taking off the cardboard sleeve, we will find some alternate art on the front of the insert. The spine is the same as the sleeve spine, and the back is the same as the sleeve back. I'll show you the insert outside the case. And the back of the insert features art of Iris and Kazuma. Inside the case, we will find 3 art cards. These came shrink-wrapped together, but I'll show you what they look like. They feature a metallic foil finish, so they do look fairly nice. Moving on to the discs, we have 2 Blu-rays and 2 DVDs. Blu-ray 1 and DVD 1 have episodes 1 through 7, and Blu-ray 2 and DVD 2 have episodes 8 through 11 and OVAs 1 and 2. However, Blu-ray 2 also has special features, while DVD 2 does not. This means that the special features are exclusive to the Blu-ray disc. You will need a Blu-ray player to access them. While this is the first time that Season 3 has been released, we should take a quick look at Seasons 1 and 2. Unlike Season 3, the first 2 seasons were distributed by Discotek Media. But besides that, there's another way in which these 2 seasons are different from the third. If you look at the top, you will see the Blu-ray symbol, but no DVD symbol. Yes, the first 2 seasons were Blu-ray only. They do not contain DVDs. I can see both the pros and cons to combo packs, so I won't make an argument for which one is better. But this does create a weird situation. DVD-only fans can only get the 3rd season. There was no DVD release for Konosuba Seasons 1 and 2, so it seems a bit pointless to include DVDs for the 3rd season. I really can't think of a good reason for Crunchyroll to do this. But regardless, here's how the 3 seasons will look together on your shelf. Unfortunately, Crunchyroll didn't follow Discotek's design choices, so they don't match at all. But there's a more glaring issue. Konosuba fans will know that something is missing here. There's a Konosuba movie titled Konosuba Legend of Crimson. This film was released after Season 2, and it sets up some plot points that are continued in Season 3. Now, I understand that this is a comedy show, so plot isn't super important, but it is nice to understand everything that's going on. So you really should watch the movie before watching Season 3. but unfortunately, it still doesn't have a North American Blu-ray release. So before you buy Season 3, understand that you are missing a movie and there is no word of it getting a Blu-ray anytime soon. There's also a spin-off show titled Konosuba, An Explosion on This Wonderful World. This was released as a Blu-ray DVD combo pack by Crunchyroll. I don't own it, but I did want to mention that it's available. Seeing as this is a Blu-ray DVD combo pack, I'll show you a comparison of how the Blu-ray and DVD look. Again, you don't really get a choice between buying one or the other, but you can at least see how each one looks. Moving on to subtitles, the subs are white with a black outline. Throughout my watch, I noticed no typos and no timing errors. Sort of. In the first OVA, there were several instances of a line staying longer than necessary, which was a bit awkward, but technically not a problem. Here's a sample so you can see what I'm talking about.
この子ってひどいの。口が悪すぎるのにも程があるのよ。絶対に許さないからね。
As for the DVD, the subs are also white with a black outline, but more pixelated than the Blu-ray subs, as should be expected from DVD subtitles. The dub was done by Bang Zoom Entertainment, the same company that did seasons 1 and 2. The lead actors are shown on screen now. The menu is very basic, but easy to navigate. The current selection is highlighted in pink, and it's very easy to see. The DVD menu also highlights the current selection in pink and is also easy to navigate. On-disc special features include episode previews, commercials, promo videos, a retrospective video, and a clean opening and ending. The episode previews are what you would expect, but keep in mind that they aren't dubbed. The commercials are fun. Apparently the Japanese Blu-ray came with a Game of Life board game, which I kinda want. The promos are standard promo videos, but I do want to mention that the retrospective is the first promo video. When you select promo videos on the menu, the first thing you will see is the retrospective, and then the rest of the promos. And of course, the clean opening and ending are here, and they're about what you would expect. Overall, this is a perfectly fine release. There are just some odd decisions surrounding it, such as not releasing the movie or including DVDs, even though the first 2 seasons weren't released on DVD at all. But if you like Konosuba, I think you will be satisfied with this product. If you want to purchase this release, the lowest price I found was $44.78 on Amazon and Crunchyroll. Today we're taking a look at the Blu-ray releases of Digimon Movies 1 through 6. These are 2 sets, with set 1 having the original Digimon Adventure film, Our War Game, Hurricane Touchdown, and Digimon the Movie. Set 2 has Revenge of Diaboromon, Battle of Adventurers, and Runaway Locomon. Each set contains 1 Blu-ray with English audio options for every film. Japanese audio is available for everything except Digimon the Movie. More on that later. Both sets have subtitles in English and English sign and song subtitles. Set 1 special features include trailers, an interview with Mamoru Hosoda, a making of featurette, English dub bloopers, and art galleries. Set 2 special features include promos, commercials, and an art gallery, and vintage English dub credits. These sets were released by Discotech Media, but more importantly, I would like to thank all the individuals involved in their release. Fortunately, disc credits are included after the film credits. Before going any further, I need to explain what these movies are. Many of you will be familiar with the Digimon TV show, and yes, these are movies based on that show. But it does get confusing with the multiple different series and continuities. This chart should help explain things. There are many different Digimon continuities, but for the sake of explaining these Blu-rays, we only need to talk about 2 of them, the Adventure continuity and the Tamers continuity. The Adventure continuity originally had 2 shows. In the West, these were called Digimon Season 1 and Digimon Season 2. In Japan, they were called Digimon Adventure and Digimon Adventure 02. After those shows, Digimon was rebooted with a new continuity. This was called Digimon Season 3 in the West and Digimon Tamers in Japan. So 2 shows in the Adventure continuity and 1 show in the Tamers continuity. Each of these shows had 2 movies associated with them, so 6 movies total. The first film, Digimon Adventure, came out before the Digimon Adventure TV show and is also the first chronologically, so you can start there. Then watch the Digimon Adventure show, which is Digimon Season 1 in the West. The second film, Our War Game, technically came out before the show ended, but was close enough to the finale that you should probably just watch it after the show. So the Digimon Adventure film, the Digimon Adventure show, and then Our War Game. After that, you can start watching Digimon Adventure 02, which was Digimon Season 2 in the West. Watch the first 21 episodes of this, and then you can watch Hurricane Touchdown. This is the spot where the movie fits best, but if you want to watch it later, go ahead. Just don't watch it before episode 21. After Hurricane Touchdown, finish up Adventure 02 if you haven't already. Then you can watch The Revenge of Diaboromon. Similar to Our War Game, this came out just before the show ended, but it's close enough that it's best to just finish the show first. Now, what's Digimon the movie? Well, basically Fox wanted to have a big theatrical movie for their monster show, just like Pokemon did. But Digimon didn't have a feature-length film. Digimon Adventure is 20 minutes, Our War Game is 40 minutes, and Hurricane Touchdown is 65 minutes. Revenge of Diaboromon hadn't come out yet, so they could only pick from those three. But none of them were long enough, so what was Fox going to do? How about mash them all together into a hideous, nonsensical chimera of a film?
The Digivolution is up and running. Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know what's coming? A Digi-Destiny starts today. Let me hear you say.
I'm sorry if you have nostalgia for Digimon the movie. I do too, so I'm right there with you. But taking a step back and trying to look at it objectively, Digimon the movie is a mess. There's still things to enjoy for sure, but taking 3 separate films and trying to create one story was doomed to fail. So Digimon the movie can be watched after you watch Hurricane Touchdown. It's a bit awkward, but it doesn't really fit anywhere. And if you're only interested in the Japanese version of Digimon, you can just skip Digimon the movie. It's a Western exclusive and there's no Japanese audio option. But it wouldn't be fair of me if I didn't mention the one great thing about Digimon the movie. It had a killer soundtrack. And that's the adventure continuity. More entries in the adventure continuity would come out later, but that doesn't have anything to do with this review. You probably noticed that the last adventure film, Revenge of Diaboromon, is included in set 2. So yes, if you want all the adventure films, you have to buy both sets. Moving on to the Tamers continuity, go ahead and start with the TV show, Digimon Tamers, or Digimon Season 3 in the West. Watch at least 18 episodes of the show, and then you can watch the movie Battle of Adventures. Again, if you want to watch it later, that's fine, but definitely watch up to episode 18 first. After Battle of Adventures, finish the show if you haven't already. Then you can watch Runaway Locomon. And that's the Tamers continuity. It's smaller, but much more simple than the adventure continuity. And both Tamers movies are included in Blu-ray Set 2, which makes collecting them easy. Now let's take a look at the packaging. These are standard Blu-ray cases with outer cardboard sleeves. The logo is in the upper left of each one, and each film is listed alongside some key art. The spines have a portrait at the top, the title, a collection number, and a list of which movies it has. They also indicate that these are both in English and Japanese. The Discotheque and Eastern Star logos are at the bottom. The back of each set has a brief synopsis and screenshot for each movie. There's also a list of special features and some technical information at the bottom. Taking off the outer sleeves, you'll find that the inserts are the same as the sleeves on the front, spine, and back. I'll show you the inserts outside of the cases. And the backs of the inserts feature key art of each film. Inside each case, we'll find a Blu-ray disc and no physical extras. Now, this is the first time we've ever gotten a home media collection of these movies. But Digimon the movie was a big deal back when it was in theaters, so of course it came to VHS and DVD. Remember, this is an absurd amalgamation of the first 3 movies combined into one. There's no Japanese version here, and no individual films. The packaging for the VHS and DVD are pretty similar, featuring the same art on the front. I don't know what happened to this Terriermon, but I don't like it at all. The biggest difference between the two can be found on the back, where the DVD lists the special features. Most of these special features are just technical specs, but it does have a Kids in America music video, which isn't in the Blu-ray sets. So I guess if you really want that, you have to get the DVD or VHS. The DVD also comes with a small poster and a booklet with a listing of chapters. Oh, and there's something else that didn't make it to the Blu-ray. Something disturbing.
Oh, yoo-hoo! Mrs. Brinks, we saved you a scene! Oh, enjoy the show, Angela Anaconda.
Oh, so Mrs. Brinks and Ninny Poo think they can block the Digimon show with their big fat Digimon blocking heads, do they? Well, not for long. Angela Anaconda, Digi-Evolve to Angelamon!
So, what is this nightmare fuel? Fox Kids, the American distributor of the Digimon TV series and movie, had another show on their channel. It was called Angela Anaconda, and it featured this unique animation style you can see here. I guess Fox wanted to promote Angela Anaconda, so they made a short that played before the movie in theaters and was included in the VHS and DVD releases. Is it funny? No. Is it entertaining? No. Is it a weird, niche piece of trivia which Digimon fans can fixate on for decades to come? Absolutely. Before we move on from Digimon the movie, here's a video comparison showing the quality of the various releases. Obviously, the Blu-ray is the best, but you can see for yourselves how the VHS and DVD stack up. Now we can focus on the Blu-ray releases. The menus are very nice, they play music from the movies, and clips play in the background. The current selection is highlighted in yellow and is very easy to see. The subtitles are yellow with a black outline. Throughout my watch, I noticed no typos or timing errors. The dub is a bit complex. Of course, Digimon the movie is dubbed. It was dubbed in 2000 by Splice Bread Productions and produced by Saban Entertainment. The 3 individual films that make up Digimon the movie were later dubbed by Sound Cadence Studios and are exclusive to the Blu-ray release.
Izzy, you're all sweaty. What's wrong?
Well, it's about the egg.
Huh?
The egg is already hatched.
Oh.
Oh, not that egg.
Oh.
A digi-egg.
Izzy, you're all sweaty. What's wrong?
Well, it's about the egg.
Huh?
The egg is already hatched. No, not that egg. A digi-egg.
As for films 4 through 6, those were dubbed in 2005 by Studiopolis and aired on Toon Disney. Sound Cadence and Discotek remastered this dub, with some lines being re-recorded by new actors. Speaking of the new actors, while many of the actors for all these films did reprise their roles, some did not. The cast of these films is too large to go through in this video, but I encourage you to check the dubbing wiki if you're interested. Many Digimon fans will already be aware of this, but the English dub changed many of the names and terminology used in the show. Those changes are present in every English dub of these movies. If you want the original Japanese names and terminology, you will have to watch them in Japanese. Special features for Set 1 include trailers, an interview with Mamoru Hosoda, a making-of featurette, Digimon the Movie Recap Special, English dub bloopers, and art galleries. The interview with Mamoru Hosoda and the making-of featurette are really interesting. If you're a fan of Digimon, Hosoda, or animation history, you should definitely check these out. The Digimon Movie Recap Special is a short recap of the Digimon TV series, mainly using recycled animation and some voice lines. The English dub bloopers are legitimately funny, and there aren't too many, so be sure to check this out as well.
Not so much tongue next time.
Special features for Set 2 include promos, TV spots, art galleries, and vintage dub openings and endings. These vintage dub openings and endings were made for the broadcast version of these movies in 2005. Digimon superfans will recognize the song that plays during these. It's actually an alternate version of the Digimon Season 4 opening theme. It's really weird seeing a Season 2 movie and 2 Season 3 movies with this music. But Season 4 was the most recent show at the time, so I guess they treated this song as the theme of the Digimon franchise as a whole. Overall, these are amazing movie collections that are truly spoiling Digimon fans. Fans have been waiting to own these movies for 2 decades, and Discotek certainly delivered. If you would like to purchase these 2 Blu-rays, the lowest price I found was $23.96 for each set on Amazon and Crunchyroll. Today we're taking a look at the 2025 release of Perfect Blue. This is a 4K UHD and Blu-ray combo pack featuring one 82-minute film. It has audio in English and Japanese and subtitles in English. Special features include a booklet, 10 art cards, a poster, the original SD version of the film, lectures by director Satoshi Kon, Angel of Your Heart recording session, Angel of Your Heart full English version, interviews with the cast and crew, trailers, and TV spots. This is a G-Kids release, but is largely a copy of the UK release by Anime Limited. Usually I would like to highlight the individuals involved in this release, but I didn't find any disc credits. Regardless, thank you to everyone involved. Let's take a look at the packaging. This is a special chipboard case which holds all of the physical extras in this release. It features a wraparound image which covers the front, spine, and back. It came with a pamphlet, also known as a J-card, which was kept in place by plastic shrink wrap. Unfortunately, this won't fit inside the case, so I'm not sure what to do with it now. Let me know what you do with your J-cards in the comments. The J-card features the UPC barcode, a synopsis, a list of special features, and some technical information. I do want to point out that in the technical specs it says that this film has HDR, or high dynamic range. This is a misprint. It doesn't have HDR, and it wasn't intended to have it. Now let's see what's inside the box set. First we have 10 art cards. I would show you each one, but some of them feature nudity, and I enjoy having a YouTube channel. Next we have a folded poster. This thing is huge, so I won't unfold it on video. I'll edit in a picture of the poster so you can see it. Unfortunately, as with all folded posters, it's creased forever, but if you want to flatten it and frame it, it might look okay. The last physical extra is a 128-page booklet. This is really nice, featuring illustrations, designs, and an outline of Satoshi Kon's lectures. Moving on to the Blu-ray case, we can see that it is in fact a standard Blu-ray case. I'm not sure why it isn't a black 4K UHD case, but I guess it doesn't matter since it will live inside the slipcase 99% of the time. The front features some art, and the title is on the left. The spine has the title again, and the Madhouse logo at the bottom. Madhouse is the animation studio for this film. The back features more art, and the title is on the right. I'll show you the insert outside the case. And the back of the insert features 2 more art pieces. Inside the case we will find 3 discs. On the left is the 4K UHD, which has the film, the promotional video, and some of the trailers. On the right we have 2 Blu-rays. The top one has the film and the bulk of the extras. The bottom disc is a bonus disc that features the Satoshi Kon lectures. By taking out the top disc, we can see how these 2 discs are arranged. The bottom disc slides behind the retention hub for the top disc, and the top disc is slightly angled so that it doesn't press against the bottom retention hub. This works as long as it isn't pressed down. If the top disc is pressed down, it will rub against the bottom retention hub. So this isn't ideal, but with proper care it should be okay. Being a popular film from 1997, Perfect Blue has been released several times in North America. It was first released on VHS in 1999 by Manga Video, who released it on DVD the next year. I have 2 copies of that DVD release. There are 2 reasons why I have 2 copies. The first reason is that I accidentally bought it twice because I forgot that I already owned it. The second reason is that these 2 copies are slightly different. You'll notice that one copy has the DVD symbol on the front in the lower left. On the spine, the serial number is on the bottom on one copy and toward the center of the other. And on the back there are slight differences, but the UPC barcode is exactly the same. The biggest difference is that the copyright information on one of them says video cassette instead of DVD. I think that Manga Video was still trying to figure out DVD releases, so they accidentally used the same language that they would have used for their VHS releases. Opening them up, the disc art on one goes all the way to the very center of the hub, while the other leaves a gap. But I looked at the actual content on the discs and they are exactly the same. The last thing to look at would be the pamphlet included in each case. The pamphlets are mostly the same, but the biggest difference is that one DVD comes with an additional pamphlet showcasing Manga Video merchandise. And this pamphlet gives us the answer to this mystery. It has a copyright date of 2004, meaning that this DVD is a printing from 4 years later. This copy is the one that says DVD instead of video cassette, which makes sense. They fixed the typo in future printings. Now, enough obsessing over minute differences in DVD printings. On the DVD, we'll find a very cool menu, which early DVDs were known to have. There's also an image gallery here that isn't on the more recent releases, but it's just screenshots, so you aren't missing much. Moving on, Perfect Blue was released on UMD Video in 2005. This was a video format for the Sony PlayStation Portable. These are a cool novelty, but they often lack special features, so they were almost always objectively worse than the DVD release. In 2007, there was another DVD release with a slipcover, but this seems to just be a repackage of the old DVD release. It wouldn't be until 2019 that Perfect Blue would finally get a Blu-ray, in the form of a Blu-ray DVD combo pack by G-Kids. It would get a Steelbook version in 2021, which I have here. This is the last physical release of Perfect Blue until the new 4K UHD Blu-ray combo pack. And I'm pretty sure that the Blu-ray from the 4K combo pack is the same as the Blu-ray from the older releases. Let's take a look at the video quality of some of these releases. I will note that my capture card doesn't capture in 4K, so while the footage from the 4K release was played on a 4K player, it has been downscaled, so the difference between it and the Blu-ray may not be very noticeable. I will say that I watched both the 4K and the Blu-ray on a 55-inch 4K TV using the same player, and I thought that the 4K was a decent upgrade. Being an older film, there are moments where the 4K highlighted some imperfections that probably weren't noticeable when it was in standard definition. But that's not a flaw, it's a feature, and it's part of the film and its history. When researching for this video, I did see that some people found errors in the 4K transfer. These are present in the Japanese 4K, which is the basis for all the other 4K releases that came after it. So these errors aren't the fault of G-Kids, they just released what was available to them. But in my opinion, these errors are very small and are blink and you'll miss it moments. I tried to replicate them for this video, and I could barely notice them if at all. So I won't be showing them here, but if you search online you can find people discussing the errors. The subtitles on the 4K are white with a thin black outline. Throughout my watch I noticed no typos or timing errors, and the subs on the Blu-ray are white with a thick black outline. The dub was produced by Magnitude 8 Post in 1999. The main character Mima is voiced by Bridget Hoffman, but in this film she's credited as Ruby Marlowe. If you've ever heard Bridget Hoffman's voice before, you should easily recognize her voice here.
Well done, guys. Thanks for all the work and good times. Bye-bye, Mima the Pop Idol.
The menu on the 4K plays some music from the film, and the selection on the main menu is highlighted in yellow. However, each of the sub-menus is different. This is fun and unique, but I found the setup menu to be a bit confusing. The current selection is highlighted in red, but since there are only two options, you don't know if the selection is highlighted in red or blue. I would have liked an icon next to the selection to make it a bit more clear. The Blu-ray menu is similar to the 4K menu, but it doesn't feature any music. Moving on to the special features, the 4K disc has the promotional video, which was edited by Satoshi Kon himself, and some trailers. I'm not sure why the promotional video was made. It's fairly long and it spoils a large portion of the movie. If you've never seen the movie, please do not watch it, you will regret it. The bonus Blu-ray disc features the Satoshi Kon lectures. There are 3 lectures, each being about 30 to 40 minutes. These lectures feature Satoshi Kon talking about specific moments in the film where he explains his thoughts, interpretations, and the creative process. Again, watch the movie before watching these. The Blu-ray with the film on it also holds the majority of the special features. You'll notice that this also has a Satoshi Kon lecture. This is just the first of the 3 lectures, but this first lecture is also on the bonus Blu-ray. So why did they put the first lecture on 2 discs? Well, I mentioned earlier that I believe that this Blu-ray is the same one that was included in the previous Blu-ray releases. So these older releases only came with 1 lecture, but they wanted to give us all 3 lectures for this new release. So they just gave us the old Blu-ray and a bonus disc with all the lectures on it. The SD version of the film is also here. I wonder if this was included simply to highlight how good the remastered version is. It's unfortunately presented both pillarboxed and letterboxed, so you feel like you're watching the movie through a window. This is a rookie mistake that doesn't match the care that was put into the rest of the release. So again, I wonder if they intentionally did this to highlight the difference in quality between the old version and the remaster. The Angel of Your Heart recording session is exactly what you would expect, but it's a fun bonus. On the other hand, the full English version of the song is a bit disappointing. Yes, it's nice that they did a full version in English, but it's presented with this still image from the movie. They could have made a montage of clips at the very least. The interviews are great. We get to hear from Satoshi Kon again, but also Junko Iwao, the Japanese voice of Mima, and 3 English voice actors. These are Ruby Marlowe, or Bridget Hoffman, who voices Mima, Wendy Lee, who voices Rumi, and Bob Marks, who voices Mimania. And lastly, we have vintage trailers and the English credits. Nothing too exciting, but important for the history of the film. Overall, this is an amazing release, and the 4K upgrade alone is worth it. While most of the extras are also on the previous Blu-ray releases, this new release has all the Satoshi Kon lectures, which is a big deal in my eyes. If you want to purchase this release, the lowest price I found was $69.99 at groove.com. This is a premium release, and unfortunately that means a premium price. Space Adventure Cobra is a 1982 film directed by Osamu Dezaki. In 1995, the film was screened in theaters in both the United States and the United Kingdom. However, while the US version kept the original soundtrack intact, the UK version replaced the original music with a new soundtrack. This soundtrack was made by the Swiss electronic group Yello, so the film has 2 English versions, the US version with the original music and the UK version with the new music. The UK version, also known as the Yello version, has been released on Blu-ray for the first time in 2025. It features a 95-minute film in English only with no subtitles. Special features include vintage UK trailers and an interview with Andy Frieren, the founder of Manga Entertainment. This is a Discotek production, but more importantly, I would like to thank the individuals involved in the making of this release. Fortunately, disc credits are provided after the film credits and are shown on screen now. Let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case with an outer cardboard sleeve. The front features the title and a note about this being the Yello version in the upper left. The spine features a portrait of Cobra, the title, and the Discotek and Eastern Star logos at the bottom. The back has a synopsis, screenshots, character art, and some technical information at the bottom. Taking off the cardboard sleeve, we will see that the front of the insert has alternate art, with the same note about the Yello version being in the upper right. The spine is identical to the sleeve spine, and the back is identical to the sleeve back. I'll show you the insert outside of the case. And the back of the insert features a reversible cover featuring the same art as the cardboard sleeve. Taking a look inside the case, we'll find one disc with no physical extras. The disc does note that this is the UK edition. As I mentioned earlier, this is the first time that the Yello edition has been released on Blu-ray, but it's also the first time that the Yello edition has been released in the US. All previous releases of this edition were European. However, the US dub has been released multiple times in America, starting with the VHS release in 1998 by Urban Vision Entertainment. It wouldn't be released again until 2012 with a DVD released by Discotek. Discotek then released it on Blu-ray in 2015. And finally, Discotek released it in 4K UHD in 2019. Again, this is the US version with the original soundtrack, not the Yello version from the UK. As you can see, the front of this 4K looks largely the same as the new Blu-ray, but it has a note in the bottom right saying that it features HDR. And of course, it has the 4K banner at the top instead of the Blu-ray banner, and it doesn't have a note about the Yello version. The spines are identical, but the backs are not. The synopsis has been completely rewritten, and of course the technical information has changed. Taking off the sleeve, the art of the 4K insert is the same as the Blu-ray insert. The spine is the same, and the 4K insert back matches the 4K sleeve back. The biggest difference I found was the back of the 4K insert is blank instead of having a reversible cover. Inside the case we will find one disc and no physical extras. The new Yello edition Blu-ray only has the UK dub from Manga Entertainment. The 4K UHD does have the original Japanese audio as well as the US dub from Streamline Pictures. The subs on the 4K are yellow with a black outline. Throughout my watch, I noticed no typos or timing errors. As for dubs, I'll play a brief clip of each so you can get a feel for both of them.
This is the head of the preacher Nakoba.
Here's your
It's
drink,
worth
lady.
30,000 pieces of tritium.
Keep your hands off, you worm. It's mine. I earned it.
Surprised she doesn't take a few more heads, judging from that crowd. She's a bounty hunter, an unusual line of work for a woman. Get me?
I am leaving. You have had too much to drink.
Wait, don't be in such a big hurry.
Wow! This is the head of Dakoba, the Mad Monk of Manhibi. There's a 30,000 beetle reward on him.
There's no reward on your head, but I'll blow it off if you touch that.
How about that? She's a bounty hunter. That's a pretty unusual job for a girl to have, especially one as cute as that.
Come on, let's go. You've had a skinful.
Hold on, Andromeda, I'm just coming.
Now for the biggest difference between these two versions, the soundtrack. The original soundtrack was composed by Osamu Shoji, and the Yello version was, of course, by the band Yello. I will be the first to admit that I know nothing about music, so my opinion isn't worth much. I'll just say that I found the original soundtrack to be a pretty typical action-adventure movie score, while the Yello soundtrack was really unique and matched the tone of the movie very well. I'll play some small samples and hopefully YouTube doesn't notice.
Everyone out of here now!
Everyone get out!
menus both feature music from their respective soundtracks. Footage from the movie plays on the 4K menu, while the Blu-ray menu is static. Both are easy to navigate, and I had no trouble with either of them. Moving on to the special features, the two releases have completely different offerings with no overlapping special features. The 4K UHD has the aforementioned HDR comparison, the international opening and ending, a teaser, a trailer, and TV spots. The teaser, trailer, and TV spots are all for the Japanese release and are about what you would expect. The international opening and ending are re-edited versions of the opening and ending, mainly for the purpose of displaying English text and credits instead of Japanese text and credits. The Yello version has two extras, those being UK vintage trailers and an interview with Andy Frieren, the founder of Manga Entertainment. The UK vintage trailers are fun and a good representation of anime marketing in the West 30 years ago. The interview with Andy Frieren is basically required viewing for fans of the Yello version. He is the man who replaced the soundtrack, and he does a great job telling the story of how it happened. All things considered, I think that this new release of the Yello version is amazing. While it would be nice to get this movie in 4K, I understand that there's already a 4K version of this movie, and having two 4Ks for sale would hurt the sales of both. However, if you're a Cobra fan, I do advise buying both versions. Both soundtracks have their merits, even if I personally prefer one over the other. And each release has their own dub and special features, so if you care about those, you will need both of them. Unfortunately, the 4K UHD is becoming hard to find. I don't know if it's completely out of print, but I couldn't find it in stock anywhere. It's currently on backorder on the Crunchyroll store, but you can't really trust Crunchyroll to restock products these days. So the Yello version may be your only option. But don't worry, it's a very good release and relatively inexpensive. The lowest price I found was $19.96 on Amazon and Crunchyroll. Today we're taking a look at the 2026 Blu-ray release of Code Geass. These are two Blu-ray sets, each having 4 discs. They both feature English stereo and Japanese 5.1 and stereo audio options, as well as subtitles in English. Each set has 25 episodes, making up the entire 50-episode series. For special features, Season 1 has episode commentaries, picture drama episodes, English voice actor interviews, and clean openings and endings. Season 2 has episode commentaries, picture drama episodes, extra flash Baba Theater Redux episodes, broadcast versions of Next Turns, a US trailer, and clean openings and endings. These are Crunchyroll Blu-rays, but more importantly, I would like to thank the individuals involved in their release. Unfortunately, I couldn't find disc credits anywhere, but regardless, thank you everyone for your hard work. Let's take a look at the packaging. These are standard Blu-ray cases with our cardboard sleeves. Both have a shiny finish, giving them a premium feel. The fronts of the sleeves feature the title, and the spines have portraits at the top, the title, a season number, and the Crunchyroll logo at the bottom. The backs have a hole for the UPC barcode, a synopsis, some screenshots, a list of special features, and some technical information at the bottom. Taking off the outer sleeves, we will find alternate art on the fronts. The spines are identical to the sleeve spines, and the backs are identical to the sleeve backs. I'll show you the inserts outside of the case. And the backs of the inserts feature more art. They have printing on the spine area, so they can be used as reversible covers. Looking inside the cases, we will find 4 discs in each, as well as an art card in each. The backs of the art cards feature the logo. Each disc lists the episodes on the disc, and they each say that they have special features. This is slightly misleading. Each disc has audio commentaries, but all the other special features are on the last disc of each set. Of course, Code Geass is an iconic anime, so it has been released several times over the years. It was first released on DVD in 2008 by Bandai Entertainment. They released them first as single-disc volumes and then as 2-disc parts as seen here. These are just standard DVD cases, and I see them in secondhand stores very often. I picked this one up for the sake of this video, and I spent $8, which was probably too much. Bandai also released limited edition releases of these volumes, which included physical extras such as manga volumes and soundtracks. Finally, Bandai released each season as a DVD set in 2011 and 2012. I have both of them, and again, they're pretty standard DVD sets without much to note physically. The Bandai DVDs do have some unique special features, which we'll get to in a bit. The license for Code Geass then went to Funimation, who released the 2 seasons on DVD and Blu-ray in 2016. These are my friend's DVD copies, and again, not much to see here. At the same time as those standard releases, Funimation released a limited edition Blu-ray set of the entire series. This includes several art cards and was housed in a slipcase. Many of you will know that Crunchyroll bought Funimation, resulting in Crunchyroll getting the license to Code Geass. And Crunchyroll decided to give Code Geass some special treatment. In 2023, they released a special collector's edition. Let's move to my kitchen table. This thing is massive, and not in a good way, it's stupidly big. When I bought this, I had no idea it would be this big. It takes up way too much space. But why is it so big? Well, let's see what's in the box. If you ever get your hands on this thing, make sure to open it correctly. First, lift from the top, which is hinged in the back. Then it splits in the front and opens up. First, there's a square envelope on top. It contains 3 things. The certificate of authenticity lists the contents and tells you which unique number this set is. There's also a voucher for either 6 free months of Crunchyroll Premium or $60 off a purchase from the Crunchyroll store. I used this voucher years ago and it's expired at this point, so go ahead. I know you are about to pause the video and write down the code. Lastly, there's a sheet of instructions for proper opening and storage of the box set. In this small drawer, we have a USB drive shaped like the Lancelot activation key. A neat little collectible, but I don't remember the last time I even used a USB drive. Over here, we have the series on Blu-ray. This is both seasons in a slipcase. The discs in these have the exact same content as the new discs, but the packaging is different. Here we have the 4 Code Geass films. The first 3 movies are compilation movies, and the last is the sequel, Lelouch of the Resurrection. It's a standard Blu-ray case in an hour cardboard sleeve, housed in a slipcase. Next, we have the Akio the Exiled OVAs. These are 5 OVAs that came out after the series. They are on 2 discs in a standard Blu-ray case with a slipcover and slipcase. Next, we have a Geass symbol necklace. I haven't worn it, so I can't tell you if it's fashionable, but I don't think you wear this for fashion. Lastly, the bottom 2 drawers hold a chess set. If I'm being completely honest, these pieces feel very cheap. This is not a premium chess set, which is upsetting considering that this is supposed to be a premium collector's box. It's also upsetting because the chess set is the reason why this box is so big. If it wasn't included, the box could have had a much more compact design. I would have absolutely preferred a smaller box without the cheap chess set. I think it's obvious at this point that I don't like this collector's edition. When I bought it, it was on sale and the Funimation Blu-rays were out of print, so they were about the same price. So I bought the big set, and I have never been able to find space for this monstrosity. I don't recommend buying this, especially because it's now out of print and expensive. In fact, I plan to sell my box now that I have the new Blu-rays. The only real advantage of this big box is that it includes the movies and Akira the Exiled. However, I personally don't care about any of those. In my opinion, Code Geass peaked with the show and never recaptured the magic. Now, let's get back to the new releases. Being Blu-ray releases, you would expect them to have better video quality than the DVD releases, but I'll show you a comparison anyway. I wish I could show you the Funimation Blu-rays, but unfortunately I don't have those. While I do think that these new releases look nice, they aren't perfect, but maybe Code Geass is just showing its age. The subtitles are white with a black outline. Throughout my watch, I noticed no typos or timing errors. However, there is an issue with the Japanese audio track, specifically the stereo Japanese audio track. In Season 2, Episode 3, right after the opening, there's a weird audio glitch. Listen for yourselves. This is disappointing, but at least it's only on one of the audio options. And it's not during the actual show, so it's not a big deal. It's just annoying that a major company like Crunchyroll can't put proper care into their releases. Although Crunchyroll can't take all of the blame. This same glitch is in the Funimation releases. The Bandai releases didn't have this problem, so something happened when Funimation released the show. So blame Funimation, but Crunchyroll should have fixed it. Speaking of audio, the dub is the same dub that the show has always had, the one that aired on Adult Swim, and the one that features Johnny Young Bosch being the greatest edgelord ever.
The only ones who should kill are those who are prepared to be killed.
What's happening here?
I, Lelouch V. Britannia, command you. Now all of you, die!
The menus across all the discs are the same, featuring an animated logo and some music from the show. The current selection is highlighted in white, and I had no trouble navigating the menus. Now to address the elephant in the hut. I mean the pizza in the room. I mean the pizza in the hut. Anyway, Code Geass was sponsored by Pizza Hut when it originally aired in Japan, and they plastered Pizza Hut logos everywhere in the show. It was obnoxiously present in every episode. Later versions of the show removed these logos as the sponsorship ended, so you would expect to see no Pizza Hut at all in the new release of the show. And while the vast majority are gone, I did find 2 scenes that still have the logos for some reason. First, in the prologue for episode 8, there's a blink and you'll miss it moment where Nonoli is bringing in some pizza, and it's clearly Pizza Hut pizza. What's interesting about this is that it's recycled footage from episode 3, and in episode 3, the Pizza Hut symbols have been removed, so I'm not sure what happened here. And these Pizza Hut logos in episode 8 have been present in every release I've seen, even as far back as the Bandai DVDs. The second occasion is much more obvious. In Season 2, Episode 14, C2 is having a conversation and she is, as always, eating pizza. There's a very prominent Pizza Hut logo on the box, and the shot lasts a very long time. And the same shot is used multiple times in this scene, each time with the Pizza Hut logo. This Pizza Hut logo is also present in the Funimation release, but it wasn't present in the Bandai DVD release. Now for the special features. As mentioned earlier, each disc has Japanese audio commentaries, but I want to clarify that only some episodes have commentaries. Maybe about half of them have a commentary. The picture drama episodes are probably my favorite special feature. These are basically shorts, but they aren't animated. They're fully voiced though, and they do provide some nice character moments. There are interviews with 4 of the English voice actors, those being Johnny Young Bosch, Yuri Lowenthal, Kate Higgins, and Karen Strassman. They voice Lelouch, Suzaku, C2, and Colin respectively. The Extra Flash Baba Theater Redux episodes are also sorta like shorts, but they aren't voiced. They're like comic strips basically. Unfortunately, I didn't find them very funny, but maybe you will. Maybe I'm just a grumpy old guy. The broadcast versions of the next turns are just the next episode previews for Season 2. I guess the broadcast versions were different from the ones on home media, but I didn't compare them in depth. I don't really care that much about them, even if they are different, so I didn't spend much time with them. All the clean openings and endings are included, and they included every version of each opening and ending, so you can watch your preferred version. Clean openings and endings are expected, but they did go the extra mile with these, so credit where credit is due. Finally, there is a single US trailer, which is just the Funimation trailer made for its DVD and Blu-ray releases. That covers all the special features from these new sets, but I'll quickly mention some special features included on the Bandai DVD releases that aren't present here. Japanese prize announcements, key animation galleries, and a promo video. In addition, the Funimation releases include trailers for other Funimation shows. Overall, I think that these are serviceable releases, and most people will be happy with them. I think the audio glitch, while not too intrusive, is something that should have been fixed. The video quality is good, but I can't help but feel that it could have been better. However, I am very happy with the special features included, so that's a big plus. If you're interested in purchasing these Blu-rays, the lowest price I found was $39.98 each on Amazon and Crunchyroll. Today we're taking a look at the 2026 release of Himouto Umaru-chan Season 1. This Blu-ray release has 2 discs with audio in English and Japanese and subtitles in English. It features 12 episodes, and special features include a clean opening and ending, Japanese commentaries, promos, home video release commercials, song commercials, shorts, and Banquet Mondays Daranama. This is a Sentai Filmworks Blu-ray, but more importantly, I would like to thank the individuals involved in this release. Fortunately, disc credits are included on the second disc and are shown on screen now. Let's take a look at the packaging. This is a standard Blu-ray case with a logo on the front in the lower left. The spine features the title, a picture of Umaru, and the Toho and Sentai logos at the bottom. The back has a synopsis, some character portraits, a list of special features, some screenshots, and technical information at the bottom. I'll show you the insert outside of the case. And the back of the insert is blank. Inside the case, we will find 2 discs and no physical extras. Disc 1 has episodes 1 through 9, Disc 2 has episodes 10 through 12, and both discs have special features. This show has been previously released, the first time being in 2017 on separate Blu-ray and DVD releases by Sentai. This is my friend's copy of the 2017 Blu-ray. While the art is completely different, the content is largely the same as the new release. The one difference is that this first release has trailers from other Sentai shows, which are absent on the new release. In addition to the standard Blu-ray and DVD releases, Sentai also released a limited edition Blu-ray DVD combo pack in 2017. This featured everything included in the standard editions, as well as a soundtrack, a small figure, 4 button badges, a lanyard, a rubber keychain, a magnet, and a lenticular art card. Before moving on, I want to mention that there is a second season that is also released by Sentai, but only on Blu-ray, no DVD this time around. It received a standard edition and a limited edition, with the standard edition being shown here. As you can see, the art on this matches the first release of the first season, so the new release doesn't match it very well. However, maybe Sentai will reprint the second season with new art to match this new release. Who knows? Now I want to talk about the most important thing to know about this release. There are 2 OVAs that came out between seasons 1 and 2. These 2 OVAs have never been released on home video in North America. Unfortunately, they aren't on this new season 1 release, which is a real bummer. I understand that there may be some licensing issues, so I don't blame Sentai, but this is unfortunate. These OVAs aren't little shorts, they're the length of a regular episode, so we're essentially missing 2 episodes of the show. Maybe Sentai can include them in a future release. I'll show you a quick comparison of footage from the first printing and the new printing. They should be exactly the same, but I'll let you see for yourselves. The subtitles are yellow with a black outline. Throughout my watch, I noticed no typos or timing errors. As for the dub, it was produced by Sentai in 2017. The main cast is listed on screen. The menus show a piece of key art, and the opening theme plays. The current selection is highlighted in pink, and I had no trouble navigating the menu. Moving on to special features, the clean opening and ending are exactly what you expect, but it's always nice to have them. The Japanese commentaries are great. There's a commentary track for every episode, usually featuring cast members, but the original manga creator also made an appearance. The promos and commercials are standard Japanese commercials. They advertise the show, the home video releases, and music CD releases. The shorts are a real treat. They're legitimately funny, and while the animation isn't amazing, it's better than a lot of other short anime. And Sentai went the extra mile and dubbed these. They definitely didn't have to do that, but it's great that they did. Banquet Mondays Daranana is a series of specials featuring the voice actresses spending time together and generally having fun. It's a nice feature if you want to get to know the Japanese voice actresses. All things considered, I think that this is a great release. It's essentially just the first printing minus the Sentai trailers, but that's not a bad thing. While including the 2 OVAs could have made this perfect, it's always possible that Sentai will release them in their own release, or include them in the Season 2 reprint, or release an Ultimate Edition with everything together. This Blu-ray is a solid release and has some great special features. If you want to purchase this release, the lowest price I found was $36.39 at Walmart. However, many retailers still have the first printing available for purchase, often for a lower price. Walmart has the first printing for just under $24. Again, the only difference between the new and old printings is the Sentai trailers and the packaging, so you can't go wrong with either printing. And that brings us to the end of this review. Will you be picking up Himouto Umaru-chan Season 1? Do you already own the first printing? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe for more anime home video content.